Chapter 568. The scene suddenly quieted down. Everyone looked at each other and exchanged glances with those who were familiar with them. Through the chaotic crowd, the fan finally caught a glimpse of Xiangyi's figure, only to realize that she didn't even look at her performance. A feeling of embarrassment and anger rose in his heart. What did Xiangyi mean by this? Was she disdainful? Xiangyi, why are you acting all high and mighty? I know you heard it. Look at the celebrities from the neighboring countries, they'll cooperate with their fans. How can you be so cold and aloof to the people who like you? This confusing remark made the atmosphere even more awkward. The bodyguards were expressionless as they cleared the way for Xiangyi, as if she was a rich lady shopping. Noble and aloof. When Xiangyi passed by the girl tried to squeeze through the crowd and rush to the front of Xiangyi, but she tripped and was about to fall when a pair of slender, milky hands suddenly grabbed her wrist. Whoosh, the girl fell into a warm embrace and her eyes widened in disbelief. Her wrist was grabbed by the girl in front of her. Up close, her face was bare, but it was exquisite and flawless. There was even a faint scent of orange in her hair. She was slightly shorter than Xiangyi. Due to inertia, her forehead rested on the girl's slender shoulder. The girl's face turned red at a speed visible to the naked eye. On the other side. Rewind time to 2 minutes ago. Nan was impatient and couldn't stay in the car. He shouted that he wanted to come and fetch Xiangyi. Si Chuanbai couldn't persuade him, so he accompanied the little colorful guy. From afar, Nan saw the fans who were visiting the set and was a little worried. There are so many people, will there be any accidents? The next second, he heard the crazy screams of the crowd. Even though Nan had seen the screams of fangirls before, he couldn't help but tremble. Xiangyi's popularity is too strong. They're not his fans and yet they're so agitated. Not long after, the girl who was looking for trouble said something. Nan frowned. I'll go and take a look. He was afraid that Xiangyi wouldn't be able to handle this kind of thing well, so as to avoid being talked about. In the next second, Nan heard screams that were several times louder than before. They were earth-shattering, 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 earth-shattering screams. Sister E is so cool. Nan? How long has it been? Do you have to betray me so quickly? In the crowd. When the girl steadied herself, Xiangyi immediately let go. Are you all right? She asked. The girl stared at her in a daze. She only felt that Xiangyi was good-looking and her voice was soft. She didn't know why, but she smelled good. She blushed. I am fine, Xiangyi nodded slightly. Be careful. Why didn't you sign for us? Meeting Xiangyi's calm and gentle eyes, the girl couldn't say anything harsh. Instead, her questioning turned into acting coquettishly. Xiangyi was silent for a few seconds. I thought you were joking. She tilted her head and asked in confusion, would anyone really like me? Previously, when she was about to transmigrate back, Xiangyi saw how the netizens scolded her. The girl widened her eyes. Why would you think that? Do you have some serious misunderstanding about your own popularity? Aren't you the most handsome, cutest, and charming female artist in the world? The fans? Miss, there's something wrong with you. Chapter 569. The people around them were shocked. Sister Yi's temper is so good. That girl just said such nasty things, yet she's still so gentle. Someone boldly asked, Sister E, can I have an autograph? Sister E, can I take a photo with you? Sister E, can you record a message for me as a wake-up call? Xiangyi agreed to all of them good-naturedly and even asked the bodyguard to help her carry the bags. Hence, Nan, who was in the distance, realized that not only did the screams not die down, but they were also getting louder and louder. There were also confessions such as, Sister E likes you so much, Sister E, I love you to death, and, Sister E, from today onwards, you're my wife. Nan asked. Why isn't anyone shouting Shui's name? Si Chuanbai said calmly, maybe he's past his prime. Nan was speechless. How can you criticize your own artist like that? While the netizens were still praising Xiangyi's acting skills, a few short videos quietly went viral. The first one was of Xiangyi, who was dressed in a shirt and jeans, grabbing the wrist of a girl who was about to fall and pulling her into her arms. The background music was accompanied by classic idol drama music, and it looked inexplicably pink. The second one was of Xiangyi carrying several large bags casually and effortlessly. Not only did she not waste any effort, but she also cooperated with the person next to her to record the ringtone. She gently said, "Good morning, Your Highness, and, today, you're full of energy too." The third one was of Xiangyi taking a photo with someone. Shui acted as the photographer and helped take the photos without complaint. Xiangyi noticed that the zipper of the girl's skirt was half open. Although there was a bra inside, she still immediately blocked the girl's front to prevent her from exposing herself. The netizens were truly confused. Is this really Xiangyi? Two under one roof had made Xiangyi a success, but it also brought about many limitations. Everyone only saw Xiangyi at home, and the people she dealt with were only the occasional guests. But this time, when she came to the set for filming, people saw a different Xiangyi. She was gentle, calm, polite, and educated. She treated everyone with patience and made people feel very comfortable. All of a sudden, the comments under all the videos were full of flattery. Gentleness is indeed a good attribute. Oh my God, Sister E is too much of a boyfriend. I've replayed the scene of him grabbing her wrist dozens of times and I still think it's so cool. Why are you calling her pretty sister? From now on, it's pretty sister. Call her Sister E. I think Brother E can do it too, ha ha ha. Everyone in the entertainment industry saw some clues from this. Xiangyi's popularity was unstoppable. Many brands, directors, TV stations, and video websites had extended an olive branch to Xiangyi. In the minivan, Nan relished in the flattery of the netizens to Xiangyi. After listening to a few sentences, Xiangyi asked in bewilderment, "Are these really not the fake reviewers you hired for me? Oh my God, what kind of person do you take me for?" Nan pursed his lips. "I wouldn't lie to you about such things." "I see. Oh my God, why are you so calm? You've become famous. Isn't this what you've always dreamed of?" Xiangyi said calmly, "After I lost my memory, it changed." She was on good terms with Nan, but not to the point where she could tell him that she was about to pass through. Hence, amnesia was an all-purpose excuse that could be used as soon as it was used. "What did you change to?" "Men," Xiangyi said with a straight face. "The kind that I've always dreamed of." Chapter 570. Nan and Si Chuanbai fell silent. Only Shui chuckled and said, "Thank you, it's my honor." This thank you. It was very doggy. Nan looked like an old man who was staring at his phone in the subway. Si Chuanbai took out his tablet and informed Shui of her schedule. "There's an SN show on Wednesday and we need to go to Jincheng on Thursday. If there are no objections, that's it." After informing Shui coldly, Si Chuanbai looked at Xiangyi and suddenly changed his tone. "Sister E, after Nan and I considered and discussed it, we've decided to give you 3 commercials. One is National Snail Powder for food, one is hand sanitizer for daily necessities, and the last one is the spokesperson for Hades's brand, WF. Do you think it's okay? If you have any thoughts, feel free to tell me. I'll respect all your opinions." Shui was confused. "What? Who exactly is your longtime colleague and good friend?" Xiangyi flipped through the information prepared by Si Chuanbai. There was no doubt about the ability of the top manager. The 3 brands he picked were perfect in all aspects. "I'm fine with anything." "Then I'll go talk to the brands," Si Chuanbai said gently. "Sister E, don't feel any psychological pressure. Adjust your state of mind. Eat well and sleep well so that you don't have to worry." Xiangyi thanked him warmly. When it was Shui's turn, Si Chuanbai had nothing to say. The two of them looked at each other for a few seconds before he said seriously, "Drink more hot water. Shui was silent for a few seconds. You too? Oh. The conversation ended. Si Chuanbai followed them to the manor for a meal before going back to work. Nan stayed behind to accompany Xiangyi during the filming of the commercials. Xing Chen Entertainment. In the parking lot, Qin Wanyan's makeup was exquisite, but she looked very haggard. She had already squandered all her points, and there was no way to exchange them for the beautifying filter card. In addition, she now had no source of income. Even if she desperately tried to maintain her former glamour, it was just an act, and it could never replace reality. She waited bitterly for a long time before Xiang Feng finally came downstairs. The man's shoulders were wide and his legs were long. When he walked, he looked like a domineering CEO. However, as they got closer, Qin Wanyan noticed that he was holding a hamburger in his hand. She looked left and right. Seeing that there was no one around, she took a big bite. Half a hamburger is gone, Qin Wanyan. She tried her best to convince herself that although this man was a little straight and stupid, he had money and resources. She could force herself to not despise him. The little system in her mind said weakly, "Host, I don't recommend you use such a radical method. When dealing with a man like Xiang Feng, it's better to take things slowly. What do you know? Take it slow, it's too late." Qin Wanyan couldn't stand the fact that she had no popularity, no luxury cars, and no luxuries. What was the difference between her and a loser? She was the chosen one. The goddess of fate would definitely take care of her. Thinking of this, Qin Wanyan tore off the bag on the side of her spaghetti strap dress and walked around the back of the car to Xiang Feng. She pretended to sprain her ankle and threw it at him. Her appearance was too sudden. Xiang Feng only had time to take a step back. He was fine, but the remaining hamburger in his hand fell to the ground like Qin Wanyan. Qin Wanyan was in so much pain that she wanted to curse. She looked up at Xiang Feng with teary eyes. The man blurted out a curse. F***ck. Can you still F***king eat that? Chapter 571. Qin Wanyan. She looked at Xiang Feng in disbelief, wondering if she had heard wrong. Qin Wanyan had secretly practiced this throw many times at home in front of the mirror. From the angle, posture, to the opening of the straps, she was very particular about it. Even if she wanted to throw, she had to show the beauty of pure desire. But who would have thought that after such a successful throw, she would run into a weirdo like Xiang Feng? "Mr. Xiang." Qin Wanyan called out to him pitifully. She didn't believe that this man wasn't interested in women at all. "I'm sorry for bumping into you. Are you okay?" She leaned forward slightly, revealing a large patch of snowy skin below her collarbone. If it were a normal man with normal logic, who wouldn't have some inappropriate thoughts after seeing this scene? However, Qin Wanyan had misjudged how straight Xiang Feng was. He thumped his chest and stamped his feet. "My burger is already like this, how can I be okay? I added a double serving of chicken chops. It's gone just like that, I'm so angry." Qin Wanyan, she choked for a few seconds, then tentatively said, "Then I'll buy you another one." Xiang Feng looked at her sympathetically. "No need, you have so little fabric. It's obvious that you don't have the money to buy clothes. Your family must be in a difficult situation. I still have money to buy a burger." Qin Wanyan saw that he had no intention of helping her, so she had no choice but to get up herself. She picked up the trash on the ground and walked to the trash can next to her. "Mr. Xiang, I'm really sorry, I'll definitely make it up to you." Before she could finish her words, she heard Xiang Feng shout. "Stop. You haven't sorted the trash yet, how can you throw it around like that?" Qin Wanyan. She smiled stiffly. "It shouldn't be a problem, the cleaner will take care of it. How can that be? You're too uncultured." In order to gain a favorable impression in front of him, Qin Wanyan gritted her teeth and picked up the trash again, bracing herself to sort the trash. Next to her, Xiang Feng was still seriously guiding her on the spot. Burgers are wet trash, or perishable trash. It refers to food waste, leftovers, expired food, melon peels, seeds, flowers, herbs, and other biological waste. Food packaging is recyclable. It refers to waste paper, plastic, glass, metal, fabric, and other recyclable and recyclable household wastes. Qin Wanyan, she couldn't even smile. She barely managed to maintain her expression. Thank you, Mr. Xiang. You're amazing. You've taught me so much. I have to thank you even more, no need. Xiang Feng's eyes were filled with disdain. You don't even know that? TSK, even though he hadn't said anything harsh, that tisk contained too much meaning. Qin Wanyan was furious to the extreme. She was not going to serve this man anymore. If she didn't conquer him, she didn't believe that she couldn't complete the mission. Just as he was about to leave, the little system's voice sounded in his mind. Host, this is a time-limited mission. If you fail, you will be punished. What punishment? Qin Wanyan asked impatiently. Why didn't you say so earlier? This. I did remind you, but you didn't listen carefully. The little system's voice was still delicate and weak, but the words it said were incomparably cruel. If the mission fails, the host will be obliterated. Qin Wanyan suddenly felt a chill run down her spine. What do you mean by obliterated? She suddenly remembered that the fast transmigrator in Ling Ye's body seemed to have been obliterated as well. Chapter 572. The little system said innocently, obliteration means that you will die, host. What did you say? Qin Wanyan asked, suddenly frightened. Is Ling Yi dead too? Sorry, you don't have enough authority to check the results for you. Qin Wanyan asked in frustration, can't I not do this mission then? No, host. Can't I not be a fast transmigrator? No, host. The little system was still soft and adorable, but Qin Wanyan shuddered. She realized belatedly that being chosen to be a fast transmigrator might not be a good thing at all. The shooting schedule for the snail noodles commercial was soon set, and the shooting plan was also sent to Xiangyi. The content was very simple. It was a heartwarming and beautiful scene of a human and a cat cooped up at home. They would then cook a bowl of steaming hot snail noodles while the kitten played with a furry ball. On the day of the shoot, Shi Sui also had an itinerary and went out early in the morning. Xiangyi set off at 8:00, and Xiao Naofu came over clingily. Last night, Xiao Naofu and little Shiji got into a fight. To be precise, Xiao Naofu beat little Shiji up one-sidedly. In the end, Xiao Naofu accidentally fell and hit its head on the edge of the table leg. It was clearly its fault, but Xiao Naofu was so infuriated that it ignored little Shiji and insisted on going out with Xiangyi. Xiangyi had no choice but to carry it on her back in a cat bag. Nan also put a simple cat toilet in the car. The space was cramped and Xiao Naofu had no choice but to huddle in the corner. Kittens are the most adorable creatures in the world. No matter how poor we are, we can't let kittens suffer. As soon as Xiao Naofu got into the car, it came out of the cat bag and lay in Xiangyi's arms coquettishly, allowing her to gently stroke the back of its neck with her soft fingertips. Nan took out his cell phone, took a photo of the scene, and updated it on Weibo. Xiangyi basically didn't post on Weibo, but Nan would occasionally post about her daily life. Hence, many Spicy Tutu fans followed him. As soon as the photo was posted, it received more than 1,000 likes. Pretty girl and little kitten, double critical hit. I can rub 10 of these kittens in a day. Xiao Naofu, you perverted cat. Its claws are actually on Sister Yi's chest. Shi Sui, Shiringdi, here's a cat wearing a green skullcap for you. The Spicy Tutu fans were sucking on the cat and licking the screen. Suddenly, some discordant comments appeared under the Weibo post. What does XY mean? Are you trying to intimidate us? Of all times, she chose to do it now. Who would believe that she didn't do it on purpose? Our pudding is a celebrity pet. It's not something that this kind of hybrid pastoral cat can compare to, okay? Nan was confused by the comments. What's wrong with these people? Do they have nothing better to do this early in the morning? Xiangyi tilted her head and frowned. What's the name of the cat in the shooting plan? Nan was slightly taken aback. He then made a video call to Si Chuanbai. When the call connected, Si Chuanbai seemed to be in the middle of a meeting. Dressed in a suit and leather shoes, he sat upright and raised an eyebrow at him. What's the matter? Mr. C, am I disturbing you? Nan felt a little guilty. Recently, every time he looked for Si Chuanbai would reply almost instantly, which gave him the illusion that Si Chuanbai was very free. That was why he boldly made the video call. Are you busy? I'll contact you later. Si Chuanbai, you're not disturbing me. Speak. Chapter 573. Nan briefly described what had happened. Si Chuanbai, on the other end of the video call, had a serious and cold expression, as if he was the head teacher who was supervising the primary school students whether or not they were wearing a red scarf. In fact, in the conference room, everyone stared at Si Chuanbai, dumbfounded. This man, who was usually called a ruthless work machine, was now leaning back in his chair, twirling a black and gold pen between his fingertips. He was obviously relaxed and lazy. Everyone looked at each other. Something was wrong. Something must have happened. Was Mr. C video chatting with his girlfriend? Mr. C, that's probably what happened. Nan swallowed and lowered his head dejectedly. You can scold me. Si Chuanbai, why would I scold you? It's because I posted that photo, that's why Pudding's fans were so obedient. Pudding was an internet celebrity cat, and its owner was called Dummy. Its Weibo account and short video account had millions of fans. If you want to condemn someone, you can always find a pretext. Si Chuanbai pressed his forehead. Don't worry about it, I'll handle it. Nan, huh? That's it? He thought it was a big deal, but Mr. C downplayed it so casually. Si Chuanbai raised his eyebrows. Are you questioning my ability? The man's tone was quite meaningful. On the screen, Little Colored Fur was panicking. It clumsily shook its head and stuttered, No, Mr. C is very, very good, very good, very good in every aspect. No one knew which sentence pleased Si Chuanbai, who was a glacier that never melted, but the corners of his mouth lifted slightly. Okay, give the phone to Sister E. Okay. Nan gave the phone to Xiangyi. The smile in Si Chuanbai's eyes disappeared, and he returned to his usual cold and ruthless work mode. Some time ago, I just happened to study some examples of successful internet celebrities. Dai is one of them. Her success was not accidental, but inevitable. First, it's the packaging of the team behind it. Second, it's the persistent hype. Third, it's the constant abuse of the fans. After a pause, he said, I suspect that her cat is no longer the original cat. Xiangyi narrowed her eyes. But you don't have to worry about Sister E. I have a lot of dirt on her and her cat. If she continues to provoke us, we won't hold back. Sorry to trouble you, Mr. C. You're welcome. After hanging up, Xiangyi searched for Pudding's photo. It was a white ragdoll cat with fluffy fur and slightly folded ears. It had different colored pupils, one blue and the other yellow, like beautiful gemstones. Other popular cats were also chubby, but Pudding was especially chubby, almost beyond human understanding of cats. There were many cute cats, but they were all pretty much the same. A cat as unique as Pudding could be said to be one of a kind, so it had a large number of fans. Xiangyi's frown deepened. The shooting location for the advertisement was set at a homestay in the suburbs of Nanchang. This homestay was built in a Japanese style, and the main colors in the room were almost only wood and pure white, which looked particularly clean and fresh. When Xiangyi arrived, Dai had already been there for a long time, and was holding a selfie stick and doing a live broadcast. Thank you, Aunt Pudding, for the rainbow rain. Pudding can finally eat canned food today. Dai skillfully interacted with the fans. When she saw Xiangyi, she immediately exaggerated, Wow! Sister E is here. Chapter 574. Dai trotted over to Xiangyi. Hello, Sister E. I'm Dai. Xiangyi nodded in greeting. Smelling the faint catmint scent on Dai, she politely said, hello. This is my cat, Pudding. Today, I'm going to work with Sister E. Thank you for taking care of me. Dai pointed to a cat bag not far away on the ground. The cat bag was round and adorable, with cartoon patterns printed on it. However, the cat bag was a little small for Pudding's size, and there were only 2 exhalations, the bottom and the front. Pudding's entire face was pressed against the transparent frame of the cat bag as it panted with difficulty. Its big face was slumped like a pancake, looking silly and adorable. The fans in Dai's live stream were all shouting, Pudding is kawaii. Xiangyi frowned slightly and tactfully reminded, why don't you let Pudding out for some fresh air? It can also familiarize it with the filming environment. Dai said casually, it's okay, our Pudding is very obedient. Xiangyi, she was confused. Couldn't Dai tell that Pudding was already having trouble breathing? Meow, meow, meow. Xiao Naofu jumped out of the van and wandered around to play. Seeing how wild Xiangyi's cat was, a trace of disdain appeared in Dai's eyes. It was just a stray cat, how could it compare to her cat? However, when she saw the comments in the live stream, Dai began to panic. Wow! That little kitten is so cute. This is what a macho man should be looking at. Whoa, it's so small, it's not even as big as my palm. I think a naughty cat is pretty good. Pudding is just too obedient. Sometimes, it does feel a little boring. How could this be? Dai was a little flustered, afraid that Xiao Naofu would steal Pudding's limelight, so she interacted with the fans. Then I'll let Pudding out. Let Pudding say hello to everyone. As soon as they heard that Pudding was coming out, the comments and tips in the live stream increased again. Dai opened the zipper of the cat bag, and the ragdoll cat couldn't wait to get out and take in big breaths of fresh air. Pudding, come, let mommy hug you. Adele picked up Pudding with one hand, and the ragdoll skillfully hugged her neck and meowed at the phone screen. Dai's slender figure made Pudding look even fatter. It was as if she was hugging a piglet. The visual effect was particularly shocking. Aya, our Pudding needs to go on a diet. Dai pretended to lament, if you continue to be so fat, you'll become a kitten that no one likes. When the fans heard this, they all teased, what kitten? It's clearly little Juju. No, I don't think Pudding will look good if she's thin. What do you mean by losing weight? It wasn't fat. It's just furry. Dai was about to say something when the director of today's commercial came and asked Pudding and Xiangyi to get to know each other. Pudding, be good, okay? Dai instructed. The ragdoll cat seemed to have understood human nature as it reluctantly tugged at Dai's clothes, rubbing its little head against Dai's like a spoiled and clingy kitten. When Dai handed Pudding to Xiangyi, the originally docile ragdoll cat suddenly became violent. Ow! Pudding struggled, refusing to let Xiangyi hold her. Dai took Pudding back. Ayaya, Pudding's personality is different from Sister Yi's cat. She's a little introverted and shy. Let me coax her first. Her words successfully provoked the anger of the fans. Chapter 575. The fans had always thought that Xiangyi's manager was being manipulative. Otherwise, why would she post a photo of Xiangyi petting the cat? She was just trying to replace Pudding with that mongrel cat. Yo, didn't XY say that she liked animals before? Now she's exposed herself, right? Exactly, I still remember when the photo of her feeding the deer came out, everyone was bragging that she was a forest elf. It was hilarious. Pudding is such an obedient cat, yet it doesn't like Xiangyi. Shouldn't Xiangyi reflect on herself? Animals are intelligent, they know who will treat them well. The fans thought that they were speaking up for justice, but little did they know that they had become tools to be used. Pudding stuck to Dai and acted coquettishly for a long time. In the end, the director couldn't stand it anymore and reminded her. Only then did Dai repeatedly apologize and put Pudding on the ground. Pudding circled around her feet. After a while, the smell of catmint dissipated and it stopped. Xiangyi squatted down and gently stroked Pudding's neck and chin. She then fed it some dried fish, Xiao Naofu's favorite snack. She had brought a small bag with 5 or 6 strips in it. Pudding sniffed it first and its eyes widened. It then picked it up and ate happily. Xiao Naofu smelled it and ran over. It took 2 strips from Xiangyi's hands and nestled next to Pudding to eat. The contrast between the 2 cats was too strong. Pudding's tail was thicker than Xiao Naofu's head. Dai's live stream was still open. She wanted to take advantage of today's precious opportunity to stream more. Unexpectedly, a fan raised a question. I feel that this mongrel cat's body size is relatively normal. When Pudding was this big, it seemed to be several times bigger than this mongrel cat. Is it really okay to be so fat? Dai hurriedly tried to change the topic. She blinked innocently and said, Sister E, what brand of dried fish are you feeding me? It's packaged in a minimalist style. I've never seen it before. She was very skillful with her words, leading people's imaginations to wander. Minimalist style, didn't it mean that the packaging was simple? How can you feed a cat like that? Pudding is a pedigree cat. She's already a celebrity, is there a need to be so stingy? If you want to buy some branded cat snacks. Even Dai hasn't seen this brand before. God, what is Xiangyi feeding Pudding with? Just as the fans were adding scenes for themselves, the director came over and fed Pudding a piece of dried fish. He was also a cat lover. He usually kept a straight face, but whenever he saw a kitten, he would smile until his eyes narrowed into slits. Sister E, this dried fish of yours is from LP, right? TSK, how extravagant. Dai's heart thumped as she laughed dryly. LP? Is it expensive? The director said confidently, that is the most prestigious brand in the cat snacks industry. Previously, it was the exclusive brand of the royal family of Country E and Country R, but now it was only available to the public for a limited time. Look, with this small bag of dried fish, you can buy dozens of caddies of D brand jerky. D brand was one of the more popular cat food brands in the country. Apart from the high price of cat food, the jerky and canned food were also very expensive. Dai? The fans? What the hell? How could such an ordinary and mediocre dried fish be a luxury brand? Some people didn't believe it and went to check the price, only to be instantly stunned. What kind of family did Xiangyi come from? How could she afford such expensive dried fish? Chapter 576. Not only were the fans in Dai's live broadcast room dumbfounded, but Dai herself was also dumbfounded. Even if you have money, you shouldn't spend it like this. It's just a cat, after all, an animal. How can it eat better than humans? Hee, Sister E is really generous. Dai ran her fingers through her hair, her whole body overflowing with the fragrance of a lotus. But I think it's better to know your limits when it comes to raising pets. Everything goes too far, Xiangyi said lightly. I didn't buy it, my uncle bought it. He dotes on Xiao Naofu, so I usually cook it myself. Dai, who didn't know that Xiang Feng was a domineering CEO? Of course, he could buy whatever he wanted. It wasn't worth it for anyone to tell him what to do. Dai was angry and jealous. She even fantasized about how great it would be if she was Xiang Feng's little niece. However, the director became interested. Sister E, what do you usually cook for yourself? Is it very troublesome? Xiangyi shared the recipe, just boiled salmon, chicken breast, prawns, and the like. Occasionally, I'll cook some other meat. It's better for kittens to eat meat as their staple food. Pumpkins, carrots, and sweet potatoes can also be steamed and mixed. These foods are rich in fiber. If possible, you can also feed them cabbage, lettuce, and so on. These can replenish the kitten's vitamins and minerals, but they must be cooked. Fastidious, too fastidious. The director sighed, feeling that he couldn't neglect Dai too much, so he asked, Dai, you've raised a cat for so long, you must have a lot of experience, right? Dai said pitifully, Sister E is really amazing, but I'm usually too busy to cook, so I usually mainly feed them cat food and canned cat food. I'm so envious that Sister E can take care of Xiao Naofu so well. The director was also a shrewd person. He faintly heard Adai's praise and criticism, so he vaguely laughed. It's good, it's good. Alright, everyone get ready, let's start shooting. The set had been set up in advance. It was a warm and beautiful living room with bright windows and clean tables. With the help of orange lighting, it created just the right amount of warmth. Xiangyi changed her clothes and came over. She wore a clean purple sweater paired with a white long skirt, looking incomparably gentle. With the help of the dried fish, Pudding was now very friendly to Xiangyi. She would even take the initiative to rub against Xiangyi and act like a spoiled child. However, when the staff took out the prepared snail powder, the strong smell somehow stimulated Pudding. Pudding became extremely agitated and even scratched Xiangyi. Rip, the sleeves of Xiangyi's knitted sweater were torn by Pudding's claws. The director repeatedly reminded Adai to turn off the live stream, but Adai pretended not to hear him and shamelessly continued. Seeing this scene, Adai exclaimed, "Sister E, don't scare Pudding." "Xiangyi? Which eye of yours saw me scaring it?" However, Pudding's fans didn't care about that. "Is this woman crazy? Why are you scaring our Pudding baby? XY, do you think Pudding is your cat? It's very delicate. You can't treat it as you wish." Pudding obviously hates Xiangyi. "Can't you replace Xiangyi? Otherwise, I won't watch this commercial. I'll never place an order for snail powder either." Dai blinked her eyes and used the 10th level of Lotus speech. I'm sorry. It's all Pudding's fault. How about we replace Pudding?" The director pondered for a moment. "Okay." Dai was stunned. Huh. The director happily decided. "Change it to Xiao Naofu." Dai? Chapter 577. Dai was dumbfounded. Wait, why is this so different from what I thought? Shouldn't the director be coaxing and flattering Pudding? Why is he letting Xiao Naofu take the lead? Pudding's fans were also dumbfounded. In the past, Dai had also live-streamed Pudding taking on other commercial promotions. Which brand hadn't doted on Pudding? Why was it being treated like this today? The fans were furious. Change Pudding? Why? Does that stupid cat deserve it? This is simply an open and above-board conspiracy. The director is flattering the powerful and stepping on the weak. Isn't it just because he's a good judge of character that he used her cat? He's too stupid. He has no idea how much purchasing power we have. Pudding had once endorsed a brand of cat food, and the fans had created a miracle of selling out in 10 seconds. They had always been proud of it and often used it as a topic of conversation. Dai reacted and said eagerly, "Director, how can you change it just like that?" The director said bluntly, "With all due respect, Pudding can't be filmed in its current state. Instead of seeing it in so much pain, it's better to take it to the pet hospital. The most important thing now is Pudding's physical condition. Pudding can do it." Dai was anxious. "It really can." The director waved his hand and hurriedly went to communicate with Xiao Naofu. He tried to give Xiao Naofu a few simple instructions and was surprised to find that Xiao Naofu was very human-like. Although it wasn't obedient, it was rebellious. Especially when he lay on the ground and stuck his butt out to tease Xiao Naofu, the little cat would look at him with disdain and contempt. Not only was it cute, but it was also very funny. Dai stood there at a loss for what to do. Pudding meowed on the ground, looking like it was in extreme pain. Dai was very annoyed and wanted to kick it. Xiangyi looked deeply at the selfie stick in her hand. Even though Pudding was in so much pain, Dai still didn't stop the live stream. She leaned over and rubbed the back of Pudding's neck comfortingly. The fans in the live stream shouted, "Let go of Pudding. What do you want to do to her?" There were also some rational fans who typed, "What's wrong with Dai? Pudding is in so much pain, why is she just standing there?" Xiangyi, on the other hand, seems to care a lot about Pudding. Dai was currently upset. When she saw this comment, she casually blacklisted the person. That fan was kicked out of the live broadcast room, and his head was filled with question marks. What the hell? What was there to hide? Xiangyi knelt on the floor. After Pudding calmed down, she rubbed its belly. Suddenly, an unforeseen event occurred. Pudding retched twice and began to vomit. This scene stabbed the hearts of countless fans. Whoa, what's wrong with our Pudding? If King threw a gas can at Xiangyi. What did she do to Pudding? Pudding's condition wasn't that serious just now. It was all Xiangyi's fault. Pudding became like this after she touched it. Dai seized the opportunity and said, Sister E, what did you do to Pudding? Pudding is fine. Why did she throw up? This method of shirking responsibility could be said to have been used to perfection. Xiangyi glanced at her and said indifferently, I should be asking you that question. Pudding only vomited because you touched it. Did you use some kind of massage technique? I know you have medical skills, but the body structure and acupuncture points of humans and cats are different. You can't just randomly massage it. Chapter 578. Without any explanation, Dai first pinned a label on Xiangyi. When the fans heard this, they became even angrier. Anger surged up and they lost their rationality. They suddenly felt that everything was Xiangyi's fault. Xiangyi was the culprit of Pudding's illness. However, this logic might work on others, but it was useless on Xiangyi. The young girl only needed one sentence to defeat Dai. When was the last time Pudding had a physical examination? Dai's eyes flashed with a trace of panic. Fortunately, her phone camera was facing Xiangyi at this moment. The audience in the live stream could only see Xiangyi's face, but not her expression. She lied and pretended to be calm. Not long ago. What's wrong? What's the diagnosis? Xiangyi asked calmly. Some fans felt that Xiangyi was being too aggressive and felt uncomfortable. What is the Xiang family doing? Checking her account? Does she live by the sea? She's too nosy. Our Pudding is fine. She doesn't need to worry about it. There were also fans who realized that something was wrong. Speaking of which, Pudding's health is indeed very worrying. Why is Pudding still spitting out fur balls? It can't be because Xiangyi touched it. If you don't understand, just ask. Why is Dai still arguing with Xiangyi here? Hurry up and send Pudding to the hospital. Dai stammered and couldn't answer. She hadn't taken Pudding for a physical examination at all, so how would she know the diagnosis? Xiangyi, it spat out a lot of fur balls. Did you feed it the anti-fur cream? Dai, of course I fed it. How often? I fed it often. She sounded guilty. Or, did you feed it cat grass? Adele was speechless again. Hearing this, the fans were shocked. No way. As a pet blogger, she relies on pets to make money, but she can't even take care of Pudding properly? Hearing this, the advertising director frowned. Xiangyi continued to ask, do you know how much Pudding eats? How many grams of cat food and canned snacks? How could Dai answer? She usually fed her casually. In order to maintain Pudding's unique body shape, which was different from other internet celebrity cats, she often fed Pudding a lot of food. If Pudding didn't eat it, she would add catmint or other cat snacks to make Pudding eat as much as possible. Dai flew into a rage out of humiliation. Xiangyi, is this the main point? Don't avoid the important and dwell on the trivial. It's because of your Pudding that. Are you a primary school student? Xiangyi calmly interrupted her. The more carefree the young girl was, the more it made Dai look like a shrew. Let me touch Pudding. Will there be fur balls in its stomach? If I touch the Pudding, will it spit out so much undigested meat? If I touch the Pudding, will it not be able to tolerate the frequent catmint stimulation? Nan was dumbfounded. Sister E, what are you talking about? Undigested catmint stimulation, it's very simple. It's because Pudding ate more food than it could bear, and it didn't properly replenish the anti-fur ingredients. As for the catmint stimulation, you have to ask Miss Dai. Why do you use catmint sachets on your body? The most secret corner of Adai's heart was poked, and she said, "What nonsense are you talking about? I didn't do those things you said." Xiangyi said lightly, "My sense of smell is barely okay." If you have a clear conscience, do you dare to take out the things in your coat pocket? Chapter 579. There was complete silence at the scene. Dai's entire body trembled. She could not believe that the secret she had been keeping all this while had been seen through. Pudding was very sticky to her, but it was just a normal stickiness that didn't achieve the effect she wanted. Hence, Dai had always been wearing a catmint sachet on her. Catmint was like opium poppies to humans, and it had a fatal attraction to cats. With the stimulation of catmint, Pudding would kiss and rub against her at a level that exceeded that of a normal cat. From the visual effect, it would give people the illusion that Pudding was super clingy, especially to her. She defended herself. How could I wear that kind of thing? I don't know what you're talking about." However, this explanation sounded extremely weak. The live stream was in an uproar. Catmint sachet? Xiangyi is slandering her, right? Why would Dai wear that kind of thing? So what if she did? Many cat toys put catmint in them too. No. Putting the dosage aside, it's just cheating to talk about toxicity. For example, the catmint in a cat toy is a sip of Coke, but if her sachet is a liter of white wine. It's terrifying. Dai, if you have a clear conscience, why don't you just take out what's in your jacket and show it to everyone? You can even give Xiangyi a slap in the face. I believe that the truth is clear and there's no need to argue. Seeing the comments in the live stream, Dai suddenly came to her senses. She suddenly regretted turning on the live stream. If she hadn't, she could still cover it up. But now, her fans were all clamoring to see what was in her pocket. If she took it out, wouldn't she be exposed? It's a groundless accusation, why should I cooperate with you? Dai picked up Pudding in an attempt to cover it up. Forget it, I can just hide. I'll leave now. I don't want the liquidated damages either. It won't affect your filming. She said it in a dignified manner, as if Xiangyi and the others were forcing her to leave. She didn't expect the director to directly undermine her. Miss Dai, we didn't sign a business cooperation contract at all, so how can there be liquidated damages? Please be careful with your words. After being in the entertainment industry for so many years, who wasn't a shrewd person? If it were any other time, the director would not have taken the lead. But he really liked cats, and he couldn't stand seeing Pudding being treated like this. Moreover, with his position, he didn't care about a little Dai. It was normal for him to act up once in a while. As soon as he said that, there was another uproar in the live streaming channel. After all, Dai had been bragging about Pudding's endorsement for a long time. Recently, Pudding's value had increased a lot. So, Pudding's commercial this time wasn't a commercial collaboration? So what? Working for free? She didn't know that Dai had specifically asked for free in exchange for this shoot. She wanted to use this shoot to raise Pudding's value and make more money. Dai was a little embarrassed and tried to use Lotus words to resolve the predicament. If you want to put it that way, I can't do anything about it. The director didn't fall for her trick. He laughed and said, then take out the contract. I don't like people beating around the bush with me. She had never signed it before, so where did this contract come from? While Dai was speechless, Pudding, stimulated by the catmint on her body, reached out its claws in a frenzy and tore open Dai's jacket pocket. A small sachet fell out in an instant. Chapter 580. Boom, it was as if a thunderbolt had exploded in her mind. Dai wanted to pick it up, but the director was one step ahead of her and picked it up. Dai screamed, "Give it back to me. That's mine." The director sniffed it and his face changed drastically. The smell of catmint was too strong. No wonder Pudding had such a big reaction. Don't use this kind of thing, Xiangyi said calmly. It's bad for the cat's health. Dai turned a deaf ear and snatched the sachet from the director, accidentally tripping Pudding. She cursed under her breath, completely ignoring Pudding, who was still anxiously meowing in a low voice. Realizing something, she hurriedly turned off the live stream on her phone. However, it was too late. Although the camera was shaking, the audience still saw everything that had just happened. How could Dai treat Pudding like this? The angry audience bombarded Dai's Weibo with comments. Kind reminder, respond as soon as possible with a smile. What's with the sachet? What's with the feeding? What's with the physical examination? Pudding is sick, but you still kicked it. I'm a little doubtful. Do you really treat Pudding as your family? Seeing that the matter had been exposed, Dai was at a loss, and her first reaction was to run away. Not only did she run away, she didn't even bring Pudding with her. Subconsciously, she felt that the cat had lost its value once it was sick, so she abandoned it directly. This behavior made the staff on the set speechless. How could she abandon her pet so easily? What kind of person is she? I used to send Pudding gifts often. I thought she could take good care of Pudding with money, but I didn't expect. Sigh, everyone was talking about it. The director also felt unwell, but work was more important. He instructed someone to take Pudding to the nearest pet hospital and then continued with the shoot. The script of this commercial was very simple. Xiangyi, who was staying at home, first stroked the cat for a while, then took the snail noodles to the open kitchen to cook. The kitten played with a furry ball next to her, creating an atmosphere where she lived alone but wasn't lonely. The shoot went smoother than the director had expected. Xiangyi's cooking was simply like a beautiful art. Even if it was a semi-finished rice snail powder, it was like a Manchu Han imperial feast in her hands. Boiling the powder, draining the water, adding the ingredients. Every frame was unbelievably beautiful. What was even more surprising was Xiao Naofu's performance. The kitten was soft and full of energy. The best part was that it was perfect in front of the camera. The director was so excited that he turned into a cat fan behind the screen. He couldn't wait to hold Xiao Naofu in his arms and rub its bald head. On the internet, some resourceful netizens managed to dig out the origin of the sachet. The sachet was not handmade by Dai, but a finished sachet that she had bought. Netizens found the product on a pet medical product website. It clearly showed that the content of catmint in the sachet was very high. The main purpose was to treat anorexia and other conditions in cats, and it could only be sniffed for a while at a time. Because it was relatively unpopular, its sales were not high, and very few people knew about it. However, Dai wasn't using it to treat illnesses, but to wear it daily. He even let Pudding smell it for several hours. The angry fans started scolding. Live streaming was a double-edged sword. It could bring benefits, but at the same time, it could also backfire. Some people even raised new questions. With Dai's way of raising her, was Pudding still the same as before? Chapter 581. At first, only a small number of people had their doubts, but one fan came up with solid evidence. She was originally a die-hard fan of Pudding, but after being kicked out of the live stream by Dai today, she was so angry that she became an anti-fan. She sorted through the old photos of Pudding on her phone and wanted to delete them all, but she found something strange. There was a slight difference in the color of Pudding's fur in the early photos and the current Pudding. Not to mention passers-by, even the fans couldn't tell. If it weren't for her amazing observation skills, she probably wouldn't have noticed it. Thinking of Pudding's size and the questions that Xiang Qi had asked in the live stream today, she posted on Weibo. Pudding's Aunt V, let's not talk too much. I'll just put up a set of comparison photos for everyone to find the difference. She posted the photos of the previous Pudding and the current Pudding. Pudding's Aunt V also had a lot of fans, most of whom were related to Pudding. When they saw this set of photos, they were first shocked and suspicious, then angry and furious. It was because they realized that although the photos were similar, they were really two cats. When Dai logged into Weibo again, what greeted her was not the adorable greetings of her fans, but an overwhelming amount of abuse. Where did the previous Pudding go? People like you don't deserve to be an internet celebrity. You're more disgusting than trash, I'm going to vomit. Dai blacked out and turned off her phone, trying not to look at those comments. Even so, those harsh words kept flashing in her mind. Trash, trash, trash. Go to hell, go to hell, go to hell. Dai grabbed her hair and screamed. The one who really pushed Dai into the abyss was the staff at the shooting of the snail powder commercial. They secretly revealed that Dai had abandoned putting on the set because she was sick and had no intention of coming back to claim it. The cat fans were so angry that they started cursing Dai's ancestors. At this point, Dai's reputation was completely ruined, at the shooting location of the commercial. The snow-white rice noodles were soft and smooth, full of elasticity, and the soup was delicious and unique. It was made with condiments such as snails, asparagus, and star anise. It was paired with sour bamboo shoots, peanuts, fungus, and a few pieces of fried tofu. Lastly, it was sprinkled with a handful of vegetables. After it was served, rice vinegar and chili oil were poured, even through the screen. This scene was enough to make people salivate. The soft little white cat jumped onto the dining table and sat down. It tilted its head and looked at the gentle and clean girl in front of it. Xiangyi used her chopsticks to pick up some powder. The way she ate was not as crude as some food bloggers, nor was it like the aristocratic etiquette of a socialite, but it was inexplicably infectious. Watching her eat was a pleasure. Moreover, his stomach began to growl. This was the feeling of all the staff present. Xiangyi was very dedicated to her work. She finished the entire bowl of noodles. Her cherry lips were dyed red from the spiciness, and her clear doe eyes were watery. When she looked up at the camera, she smiled faintly. She was extremely beautiful. At first, Xiao Naofu complained that the food she ate was smelly, but it endured the humiliation and thought, for the sake of this stupid woman's money, this Hulu will work hard to cooperate with her. However, as it looked at the soup, it really wanted to taste it, so it plunged into the soup that Xiangyi had left over. The bowl was too big and it was too small. With a plop, the little kitten fell into the soup bowl. Its white fur was stained and it looked confused. This accident made the director let out a fierce roar. "You're so cute." Chapter 582. The crew on set desperately tried to stifle their laughter and pinched their thighs fiercely. Xiangyi couldn't help but laugh. She quickly scooped the kitten out of the bowl and wiped it with a wet towel. "I'll make do for now, I'll give you a bath when we get back." After all, Xiao Naofu loved cleanliness. Xiao Naofu secretly licked its paws, which were stained with the taste of the snail powder soup. When it tasted this unique and magical texture, the kitten's icy blue eyes instantly widened to their widest circle. Meow. How could there be food in this world that was more delicious than the prawns cooked by this stupid woman? Xiao Naofu's reaction was completely recorded by the camera. In addition to calling it cute, the director was also very excited. Filming pets was a very difficult thing in itself, and all kinds of accidents could happen. For example, the pet didn't cooperate, or the pet's acting skills weren't up to par. Xiao Naofu's reaction was unexpected. But it was an unexpected surprise. Xiangyi's part of the shoot had already ended. He asked someone to take a few more shots of Xiao Naofu, but the director roughly cut the material and sent it to the brand's father. Within a few minutes, the brand's father sent a WeChat message, "More money." "I want more money." "Huh? What did you say?" "More money?" Xiangyi, who had just removed her makeup, looked at Nan blankly. Nan chuckled. "Yes. I've heard of deductions, but it's really rare to see extra money. And they even doubled it." "Why?" "The extra money is for Xiao Naofu. The brand's father is very satisfied with its performance." Xiangyi was stunned at first, then she burst into laughter and pinched Xiao Naofu's face. "Wow, our Xiao Naofu is so amazing, it can even earn money through its own labor." Xiao Naofu's eyes lit up when it heard that it could also earn money. While Anan went to get the car, it rubbed its little head against Xiangyi and gestured with its little paws to the shape of the tablet. Xiangyi was helpless. "You've been playing with the tablet a little too much recently, you're simply an internet addict." Xiao Naofu, meow meow meow, "Okay, I'll let you play when we get back." Xiao Naofu was overjoyed. It wanted to go online. It wanted to buy a large cart of snail powder. From now on, it wanted to eat that delicious food every day. Eating 2 packets for a single meal. If I can't finish it, I'll just share some with little Shiji. The suddenly rich Xiao Naofu didn't even bother to sleep as it squatted valiantly in the back of the car, looking like a primary school student who had accidentally won the lottery. The manner. Xiao Naofu was the first to jump out of the car and clattered to the tablet. Its little paws skillfully unlocked the screen, and as it searched for snail powder to place an order, it suddenly realized something. It was so quiet. The little cat looked left and right. After waiting for a long time, it still didn't see that familiar figure. Where was that dog? Could it be that the devil Shui had used it to make dog meat hot pot? The young best actor was reading a book in front of the floor-to-ceiling window. His long legs were slightly bent, and he looked focused and charming. Xiao Naofu pounced over and bit his trousers. Don't mess around. The man's voice was low and magnetic. Meow meow meow. Dog, return little Shiji to me. Seemingly sensing Xiao Naofu's abnormality, Shui looked down and stared at its dirty fur. She frowned slightly and picked up the little cat with her slender fingers. She gently rubbed the back of its neck twice. Why did you get yourself into such a sorry state? You're ugly and smelly. No one would want you for hot pot. Xiao Naofu. Damn it, let's perish together. Chapter 583. The white and soft kitten was so angry that it wanted to bite someone, but Shui easily grabbed the back of its neck. It was suspended in mid-air and could only flap its paws helplessly. Meow, meow, meow. The more Xiao Naofu thought about it, the more aggrieved it felt. Tears welled up in its eyes and fell with a thud. As soon as it cried, Shui froze for a few seconds before letting go of the shackles and stroking the kitten's head gently. Why are you crying? Kitten. Xiao Naofu made a vomiting expression, but it still couldn't stop its tears from falling. Shui sighed, feeling a headache coming on. Apart from Xiangyi, he had never been good at coaxing other creatures to cry. After thinking about it, he threatened with a sullen face, if you cry again, I'll kiss you. That sentence was more effective than any comfort. Xiao Naofu forced its tears back, but it looked even more aggrieved. It looked in the direction of the cat villa where the mutt would usually sleep, but now, the fluffy nest was empty. It was as if little Shiji had never existed. Shui followed its line of sight and understood what was going on. Xiang Feng has been free recently, so he brought little Shiji home to raise it. Don't worry, although he's a little unreliable, he still dotes on cats and dogs. Speaking of which, he was the one who picked up Xiao Naofu. Turns out that mutt wasn't caught and eaten. Xiao Naofu heaved a sigh of relief. It suddenly felt embarrassed and wiped its tears with its furry paws, jumped off the sofa with its buttocks raised, and continued to play with its tablet. However, the games it usually liked to play, watch Mukden shows, and shop around were suddenly meaningless at this moment. After playing for a while, Xiao Naofu lay on the ground and wagged its tail in boredom. If only that mutt was here. It would lick my fur, act as a meat cushion, and even give up its favorite canned beef. Some time passed. Xiao Naofu, it's time to take a shower. Xiangyi's gentle voice sounded, but Xiao Naofu was still listless. Meow. Huh. Xiangyi pushed the tablet to it. Ever since Xiao Naofu learned how to type, communication between the two had become much easier. Xiao Naofu pressed the screen with its paws and asked, when will little Shiji come back? That might not necessarily be the case. Why don't I send you to little uncle's house to stay for a few days? Xiao Naofu shook his head solemnly and typed, if this Huhu leaves, who will protect you, stupid woman? Seeing this, Xiangyi's heart warmed. She hugged Xiao Naofu and kissed it several times. Xiao Naofu, why are you so cute? Meow. Don't use cute to describe this Huhu, use fierce, okay? Xiangyi was amused by its serious look. She lowered her head and sent a message to her uncle. Evening. The live stream started. Xiao Naofu squatted on the steps, gazing at the setting sun with melancholy. Looking out of the floor-to-ceiling window in the living room, he could only see a small round head with 2 drooping ears. She looked very listless. Li Jianyu specially found a camera position to film it, and the fans in the live broadcast room were all melted by its cuteness. From today onwards, I'm a cat fan. I'm going to bite such a cute kitten. Adorable, brainless. Happy, brainless. Until, woof. Woof woof. When it heard the familiar bark, Xiao Naofu's ears immediately stood up. At the door, little Shiji was running towards it merrily. In the next second, Xiao Naofu jumped down the steps and ran towards little Shiji. Chapter 584. The sunset glow was gorgeous and magnificent. The cat and the dog ran in both directions. Many viewers couldn't help but smile in front of the screen. This is so cute. The 2 short legs are running towards each other. It's so touching. I actually cried watching this. It's so beautiful. Everything is soft and peaceful. Whoosh, the little cat and the Shiba Inu met successfully. Woof. Meow. Woof woof. Meow meow. The cat and the dog barked at each other a few times, after which little Shiji excitedly pounced on Xiao Naofu and kissed it while licking its fur. Meow meow. Xiao Naofu protested twice, but soon narrowed its cat eyes in comfort. Its whiskers trembled, and a low purr overflowed from its throat. In the living room, Xiangyi and Shi Sui were drinking tea and reading a book. Upon sight of this scene, the 2 looked at each other and chuckled silently. In the live stream, the fans began to make fun of them. Cat porn? Children shouldn't watch such intimate scenes. Otherwise, yellow horns will grow on their heads. Xiao beanbag. Xiao Naofu and little Shiji are of different species, but they have the same gender, right? Is this really okay? The atmosphere was harmonious. However, there were also some who argued, little Shiji is a pedigree dog while Xiao Naofu is just a mutt. They're not compatible, right? Such comments were now ignored in the live stream. However, some netizens quickly took a screenshot and posted it on the Melon forum. In addition to the ha 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 ha, all kinds of idiotic netizens came out and seriously discussed the topic of this cat and dog mismatch. Come on, our Xiao Naofu is a young master who led a wandering life, okay? Little Shiji is just a hedonistic son of a wealthy family. Xiao Naofu is very popular. Some little Shiji fans should stop saying that your cat is outdated. Has it ever been popular? Hee hee. No way, no way. What era is it now? Why are you still calling it a mutt? Our Xiao Naofu is clearly a noble Huaxia mutt. You may think it's a mutt, but we don't think it's a mutt. All of a sudden, the drama queens went online and began arguing on the internet. Meanwhile, the company behind Audai did not give up. Although the account could be refurbished and the person could be changed, they still decided to squeeze the last bit of value out of Audai's account. At 7:30 p.m., Dai's account posted a long post on Weibo, claiming that Xiangyi was using her popularity to bully others, and that she had made Xiao Naofu replace pudding in the commercial. After this Weibo post was posted, Dai's account opened a tipping function. Some netizens who had just started to gossip believed it and tipped Dai a lot of money. However, with the old fans' explanation, the netizens who were new to the topic suddenly woke up. What? Dai was actually so disgusting? Not long after this Weibo post was posted, Xiangyi's Tomato Entertainment and the economic team led by Si Chuanbai immediately retaliated. Si Chuanbai also bought Pudding's and Pudding's Weibo post to become a trending topic. This pudding is not that pudding hashtag many people thought it was food and clicked in out of curiosity. They were shocked by Dai's actions. Purposely fattening the cat and letting it die when it couldn't take it anymore. Then, changing to a new cat to deceive the fans? And all of this had something to do with the company behind her. Countless netizens were disgusted. Dai and her company had tasted the consequences of their actions that night. However, the wonderful thing was that various cute photos of Xiao Naofu suddenly spread on the internet. Chapter 585. For example, it tilted its head and acted coquettishly, acted like a little green tea, or held a milk bottle and drank goat milk powder. In this era of cat fucks, countless cat lovers felt the depths of their souls trembling when they saw these stickers. Ow! It's a cat. It's a cute cat. Cats are the cutest creatures in the world. In an instant, Xiao Naofu's stickers surpassed the popularity of Fu Jian's silly stickers and became the top sticker in the world. Everyone who didn't have a few cute Xiao Naofu stickers would be too embarrassed to call themselves a new generation surfer. In the beginning, some netizens thought that Xiao Naofu was an internet celebrity cat, but after learning more about it, they realized that Xiao Naofu had a live stream program. It was simply a celebrity cat. On this day, the live stream of Two Under One Roof welcomed a new huge stream of traffic. Their competitors were dumbfounded. After a long time, a program would accumulate loyal fans, but at the same time, it would lose its novelty and viewership rate would become lower and lower. However, Two Under One Roof was simply amazing. Not only did it start at the top, but it could also attract more traffic. Shi Sui's career fans, girlfriend fans, and wife fans, Xiangyi's face fans, foodie fans, mother fans, and milk powder fans. Now, even a muddy cat had its own fan base. It even opened its own Cat Weibo account. Countless people were in awe. There were also many industry professionals who felt that they could create a program that was more popular than Two Under One Roof. For a time, major television stations and video websites began to prepare for live streaming variety shows. In the next few months, new programs popped up like mushrooms after a rain. Over the next few days, Xiangyi filmed advertisements for hand sanitizer and women's clothing. The filming went smoothly. However, the brands put forward an additional condition. At first, Nan was shocked to hear the other party's request. What? Sign a contract with Xiao Naofu? Are you sure it's not Shi Sui? The brand representative smiled slightly to show politeness. Yes. Nan murmured. Is Shi Sui really past his prime? The brand representative was speechless. What? What misunderstanding do you have about Shi Sui's popularity? It wasn't that they didn't want to hire him, they couldn't afford it. Shi Sui rarely took on endorsements, but she was deeply doted on by the fashion industry and received all kinds of sponsorships. However, apart from a few top luxury brands, there weren't many brands that could afford to hire Shi Sui. All in all, Xiao Naofu had two more sources of income. The little milk cat had transformed into a working cat and was very cooperative during every commercial shoot. Xiangyi even opened an account for it and transferred all the income into it. Xiao Naofu would squat in front of the tablet every day and indulge in shopping. Apart from the snacks, toys, and game consoles that he liked, he also bought a lot of things for little Shiji. Xiao Naofu had been trending for several days in a row, and a pet blogger secretly used a small account to complain. Sometimes, I really can't help but sigh at the magic of fate. No matter how hard you work, you might as well be reincarnated into a good family. I don't mean anything else, I just feel sorry for our big cat. After putting in so much effort, it can't even compare to a little mud cat, many people echoed. That's right, that's right. What's the use of working hard? In this day and age, not only do humans have backers, even cats have backers. All of a sudden, Happy Snails fans v. Thank you Xiangyi v Xiao Naofu the most adorable v for filming the Little Wonderful commercial. I hope you, who are on Weibo, will eat well whether you're alone or with someone. Take a sip of the powder and be happy. Chapter 586. The accompanying video was shot by Xiangyi and Xiao Naofu together. When Nan saw this Weibo post, he projected the advertisement onto the TV and pressed the pause button. He then pulled Xiangyi and Shi Sui to watch it together. Xiao Naofu meowed a few times and acted coquettishly. Xiangyi's heart softened and she hugged the kitten in her arms. Little Shiji stared at Xiao Naofu eagerly. Perhaps knowing that it was inconvenient to be carried because of its large size, it rubbed itself against Shi Sui's trousers and lay on the ground to watch the TV obediently. Nan was speechless. Xiang Feng had also been living in the manor recently, but as a domineering CEO, He would work until 5 in the afternoon even if he had nothing to do. This was the stubbornness of Xiang Feng. Without Xiang Feng around, Nan suddenly felt that he was quite redundant. It just so happened that it was time for the live stream to start today, so Li Jianyu decided to start the live stream in advance and broadcast Xiangyi's advertisement. Live stream viewers, there's such a thing? After hashtag watching a live stream in the live stream room hashtag, there's another hashtag watching an advertisement in the live stream room hashtag? Ha 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 ha, Director Li really dotes on Sister Yi too much. He's so worried about Sister Yi's career that he doesn't forget to promote Sister Yi at all times. Xiao Naofu is sitting on Xiangyi's lap and swinging its little legs around. Nanny, hurry and cast a healing spell on me. I'm going to pass out. Sob, birds of a feather flock together. Xiao Naofu sticking to Sister Yi means that Sister Yi is as cute as a cat. Little Shiji sticking to Shi Sui means that of a family of 4, Shi Sui is the most adorable. Amidst the comments of the audience, Nan pressed the play button with the remote control. The scene started with an empty shot, then moved past the dreamcatcher by the window, the cactus in the room, and the magazine in the book. Then, it naturally turned to Xiangyi. The girl knelt on the tatami. Her purple sweater was gentle. She slowly opened the packaging of the rice snail powder. The kitten at her feet was playing with a ball by itself. When it heard the sound of the packaging being torn, it curiously leaned over to smell it. The smell made the kitten's face change color. Then, it was a set of food scenes. Xiangyi cooked the snail powder until it tasted like Hua country on the tip of her tongue. Watching her cook was a kind of immersive enjoyment. When she scooped the rice snail powder into a bowl, sprinkled it with white sesame seeds, and sprinkled it with chili oil and rice vinegar, Nan couldn't help but swallow his saliva. Wasn't this too good? When Xiao Naofu smelled the smell, its cat face wrinkled even more. It held its salted fish toy in its mouth and ran far away from Xiangyi. When Xiangyi ate, it would bite the salted fish. When it got tired of playing, it would lie down on the hammock with its head facing the sky and its eyes squinted. It would then snore comfortably. Xiangyi ate the rice noodles while Xiao Naofu snored contentedly. It was a stark contrast, but at the same time, it was also a silent echo. There was no need for too much narration, but it made one think of a word, beautiful. When Xiangyi finished the last bowl of rice, Nan couldn't help but unwrap the snacks on the table and stuff them into his mouth. Shi Sui coughed and said, "You seem to be eating little Shiji's jerky." Nan was dumbfounded. Xiao Naofu protested, "Meow. It's mine." Although it was bought for little Shiji. At this moment, Xiao Naofu, who was in the advertisement, couldn't hold back its curiosity. It first squatted on the table and tilted its head curiously before sticking its buttocks into the bowl. Plop, Xiao Naofu fell into the big bowl and looked up at Xiangyi in confusion. It licked its paws and widened its eyes. Xiangyi couldn't help but laugh. The scene froze at the moment when the girl and the cat looked at each other. Chapter 587. The camera faded out and the Happy Snails logo popped up, along with the inscription of the advertiser this time, "You have to eat well even if you're alone." It was Xiangyi's voice. It was soft and clear, like a little sister next door exhorting in his ear. The advertisement came to an abrupt end. Nan, on the other hand, was still unsatisfied. The TV screen went black for a few seconds before he smacked his lips. "This advertisement is so well shot, I'm so hungry." In the live stream, the fans were all shouting, "Where's the link? I want to buy it." Xiangzi, large grass planter, "I'm so hungry." Sister Yi cooks and eats the noodles, and so do I when Xiao Naofu licks its paws. On Weibo. The comments section of the Happy Snails fans' official Weibo account exploded, and the number of comments was increasing rapidly. Who can buy that little stock? Increase the stock. Are you there? I have a friend who has a terminal illness and wants to eat a bowl of your snail noodles before she dies. Can you ship it to me as soon as possible? Damn, which smart little guy in your company thought of getting Sister E to be the spokesperson? Even my grandmother, who's in her 60s, told me to buy her some snail noodles. +1, all the aunties in my family said that they want to support Sister Yi's work and have already reserved a box each. So the question is, where am I going to buy so much for them? Smile, smile. The headquarters of the Happy Snails fans was in a mess. In addition to the snail noodles that were selling well, even the sales of hot and sour noodles and chicken soup noodles, which usually didn't sell that well, had soared. The offline distributors kept calling to place orders, and the landline in the office kept ringing. The senior executives were both happy and worried. Considering Xiangyi's popularity, they had already taken measures to deal with it. They didn't expect that they had still underestimated Xiangyi's ability to sell goods. After some discussion, the senior executives combined the factory's production volume and daily sales volume, and put up a link to the pre-sale of 100,000 packets. The link had only been up for a second. It was taken off the shelves. Everyone was speechless. It was sold out just like that. Everyone refused to believe it and asked the technician to put up a link to the pre-sale of 200,000 packets. Whoosh, 1 second. It was taken off the shelves again. Everyone. The executives were all thumping their chests and stamping their feet. In the past, when they looked for celebrities to endorse their products, they were worried that they would not be able to make money from it. But now, what they were worried about was that Xiangyi's ability to promote products was too strong. Their production capacity couldn't keep up. The feeling of not being able to earn money when it was right in front of his eyes was too unbearable. The upper echelons of the very happy snail fans fell into sweet trouble. Meanwhile, eating well for all 3 meals also followed the example of 2 under 1 roof and started a live stream. They didn't limit themselves to Xiangyi's agricultural products. They had a rich selection of products and even invited the second brother, Hao Han, from the live broadcast room. However, Zhu Yi's reputation had already collapsed, and Jiang Yun thought of herself as noble and virtuous. The two of them were not even familiar with the products, so they could only read the script dryly. Coincidentally, there was also snail powder among the products they were carrying today. Link on 321. After Hao Han shouted at the top of his lungs, he felt that his throat was about to smoke. Today was the most tiring day he had ever been in the live streaming industry. However, Zhu Yi and Jiang Yun did not know how to continue the conversation, nor did they know how to find a topic to talk about. Giving him some time to rest, they only asked, "How many sales are there? Has the inventory been sold out?" The staff told him, "More than 50,000 copies have been sold now." Hao Han was quite satisfied. That was much better than his usual sales. However, he heard Jiang Yun say in disbelief, "What? That's all? Is the streamer you found good or not?" Chapter 588. I don't think so. Zhu Yi frowned. It's too unprofessional. My ears hurt from all the noise. Hao Han's mouth was dry. I can't F***king do it. I think you can F***king do it. No matter how much he cursed in his heart, Hao Han still had to put on a fake smile. Ha ha ha, men can't say no. After all, I'm the world's loudspeaker. Why don't I turn off the mic for 5 seconds? The originally stiff atmosphere eased a little. Before the fans could react, Zhu Yi and Jiang Yun sneered at Hao Han. The two of them thought that it must be because Hao Han's data was exaggerated. After all, Yan Kai, who worked with Xiangyi last time, had sales of at least 100,000 units. In comparison, the two of them had such a high status, but they only sold so little. It was probably their fans who bought it. Why don't you just turn off the mic until the end? Jiang Yun retorted. Her EQ was not high. After she won the title of Queen of Songs, she did whatever she wanted. Those who liked her often praised her for her true nature. Those who didn't like her directly slandered her. Look, Xiangyi is not even a professional streamer, but she can still sell hundreds of thousands of bags. Zhu Yi was absent-mindedly playing with his phone when he saw the trending topic #300,000 bags of snail powder in 2 seconds #. He clicked on it and was surprised to find that the person selling the goods was Xiangyi. Hao Han, who had been holding back his anger, completely exploded. Okay. Then you two can continue. I won't disturb you anymore. He got up, turned off the mic, and left with a dark face. The staff at the scene were all dumbfounded. The director was the first to come back to his senses. He quickly asked someone to persuade Hao Han and kept winking at Zhuai Yi and Jiang Yun, hoping that the two of them could salvage the situation. However, the two of them felt that without Hao Han, they could still sell the goods, so they started to introduce the next product. The director was speechless. He had seen confident people, but he had never seen such confidence. The director sighed helplessly. He had no choice but to let the two of them continue to sell the goods live. After Zhuai Yi finished introducing the product, Jiang Yun shouted exaggeratedly, "Don't miss it. Buy, buy, buy. Buy it. Link it." The technician quickly connected the link to the live broadcast room. Zhuai Yi and Jiang Yun were not good at interacting with the audience, so they seemed a little cold. After a few seconds, the two of them couldn't help but be concerned about the sales volume. How much? The staff member looked at them cautiously and stammered, How? Zhuai Yi asked expectantly, "Tens of thousands?" The product they were promoting this time was a high-end red wine. Its unit price was the highest among the selections tonight. The staff member's scalp went numb. Jiang Yun had a bad premonition and said a conservative number, a few thousand? Although a few thousand wasn't much, it was still acceptable considering the high price per unit. Unexpectedly, the staff member said cautiously, hundreds of bottles. In fact, the actual sales volume was only slightly more than 100 bottles, and he had even misreported it a little. Zhuai Yi? Jiang Yun was speechless. When they heard this number, both of them revealed an incredulous expression. How was this possible? Could it be that the best actor and best singer combined couldn't compare to that extremely noisy streamer? However, online shopping websites now had real-time sales figures. Hashtag Zhuai Yi and Jiang Yun's live broadcast flop hashtag quickly became a trending topic. The dazzling 100-plus sales figure instantly became the laughing stock of the entire internet. Chapter 589. At first, some netizens thought that the trending topic was a prank. Is this reverse marketing? How is that possible? There must be a few zeros behind 100. Come on, one is an award-winning actor while the other is a pop queen. It's obvious that they can't sell so little. It must be a marketing tactic by the merchants. Yes, kick me if there's a follow-up. Some practical netizens went to verify it and found that the sales figures were real. In other words, although these two were famous, they were really not good at marketing. The netizens were speechless. This is too confusing. Are celebrities not as good at marketing as internet celebrities? I remember Yan Kai also live-streamed this brand of wine. Although it was a little expensive, he sold thousands of bottles at that time. These two have lost their integrity. Ahem, it doesn't seem appropriate to use this word, but 100-plus sales figures are indeed. When Zhuai Yi and Jiang Yun's team discovered the trending topic, they hurriedly spent money to remove it. However, it would have been fine if they didn't remove it, but once it was removed, it poked at the netizens' gossipy souls. What did this mean? Zhuai Yi and Jiang Yun were guilty. In other words, their live stream had really failed. The number of online discussion posts increased rapidly, and there were also countless fans who were dissatisfied with Zhuai Yi and Jiang Yun's attitude. During the live stream, Zhuai Yi and Jiang Yun were half-heartedly introducing their products, stuttering, and dissing Hao. They edited it and posted it on Weibo. When the netizens saw it, they were instantly delighted. This is awesome. Zhuai Yi and Jiang Yun had never appeared on variety shows before, and they thought that they could do anything because of their high status. However, they didn't expect that the internet was so advanced now, and information could spread quickly. It was no longer the era where they could only buy discs and cassettes for songs. Any words and actions of celebrities would be infinitely magnified. The previous live stream was fine as there was a script, and the two of them just had to follow it. Coupled with the fact that they had many loyal fans, they could muddle through. However, the marketing live stream was different. The pace was fast, and the requirements for adaptability were high. There was no script to speak of, and the shortcomings of the two were completely exposed in an instant. My whole family. Joie and Heavenly Queen Zhang's EQ is too worrying. Do they not know about Vast's abilities? Although she's an internet celebrity, she's also made over 100 million in sales. I watched the entire live stream, and I feel like ZY and JYE are the kind of people who are full of confidence. They act like they are the best in the world. I just want to say, the times have changed for adults. Mockery was everywhere on the internet, giving Joie and Jiang Yun's team a headache. What was even more troubling was that there were still many products that had not been introduced in tonight's live stream. It was still fine with Hao Han around. Now that Hao Han was gone, no matter how loud the two amateurs shouted, the effect was minimal. In the resting room, Hao Han looked at the live broadcast on his phone and sneered. Did they really think that live streaming was a competition of who was louder? How laughable. The program crew begged again and again, but Hao Han remained unmoved. He wasn't the one who broke the contract. It was the two people who chased him away. Then let the two of them do a live broadcast. After all, if they lost money, the merchants would definitely not let this matter rest. The most ruthless thing is always capital. Sure enough, after the live broadcast ended, all the scandals about Joie and Jiang Yun on the internet were suddenly dug up. Chapter 590. For example, Joie had broken Shui's ribs and other people's ribs in the name of filming. For example, Jiang Yun seemed to be aloof from worldly affairs, but she was actually a spoiled brat when she was young. Back then, Joie had cheated on his fiancée and married her. The scandal between the two of them caused a huge uproar and the team was extremely busy. Hao Han had long expected this outcome. For tonight's live stream, the merchants had already paid at least hundreds of thousands of yuan, especially the high-end red wine brand. With the sales of the previous live stream in Yankai, they were full of confidence in tonight's live stream. They spent more than 1 million yuan on the live stream, not to mention the promotion fee for Joie and his wife. In the end, the two of them only sold more than 100 bottles, which was a huge loss for the merchants. They definitely couldn't get the money back, but who didn't know how to create scandals to disgust others? That night, countless old scandals about Joie and Jiang Yun were dug up and shared by netizens over and over again. In contrast, the snail powder brand endorsed by Xiangyi had released a total of 5 waves of pre-sales, and the delivery date was as long as 3 months. Even so, there were still countless people who placed orders, and there was even an industry chain that acted as a purchasing agent. The cumulative sales volume was more than 1 million bags of snail powder. That number made countless brands drop their jaws in shock. All of a sudden, countless advertising offers were sent to Xiangyi's management team. The spicy Tutu brands were rather proud and they all posted their order records on Weibo. My favorite sister my favorite snail powder, has snatched the first wave of pre-sales happy. I'm crying tears of joy. I've snatched the spot. It's spot. I asked the customer service and they said that it will be delivered tomorrow. I've successfully gotten the same brand as Xiangyi's. I just went to count. The cumulative sales volume of the snail powder endorsed by Xiangyi has exceeded 1 million today. Our baby is so awesome. Proud face, I've placed an order for 50 packets to support our baby's career. Jiang Yun was already in a bad mood because of the scandal, and when she saw Xiangyi's high sales volume on Weibo, she was even more infuriated. She immediately reposted it and commented, "Who knows if it's fake sales volume?" She was still not satisfied. She reposted 2 more comments. There are many people who buy things like snail powder. How much can she bring by herself? Technology is so advanced now. Can't a programmer write a program and change the sales volume? Do you really think we're fools? After she finished typing, Jiang Yun felt that her depressed mood had relaxed a lot. She even complained to Joie, "This sales volume, one look and you can tell that it's inflated." Xiangyi was just an 18th tier actress. Just her? Ha. She was just born into a good family and her family paid for her. But in the next second, his phone rang, and the screen indicated that it was his agent. Jiang Yun answered, "What's the matter?" The agent's anxious voice came through the receiver. "Are you crazy? Look at what you've done. Hurry up and delete the things you posted on Weibo. Quick." Jiang Yun said indifferently, "What's wrong with me saying a few words on my alternate account? Don't I have some freedom of speech? What smuff? You are using your own account. Your main account." Bang! Jiang Yun's fingers trembled as she opened Weibo, as if a thunderbolt had split open a deep ravine in her mind. She finally realized that she had forgotten to switch to her alternate account. In just a minute or two, there were already more than 1,000 comments. Jiang Yun's vision suddenly turned dark. Chapter 591. She hurriedly deleted the Weibo post, but unfortunately, she was deceiving herself. In this short period of time, the Weibo post she had posted had already been screenshotted and saved by countless people. It was now circulating wildly on the internet. Netizens were gossiping fervently. "Wow, I bet 50 cents that she'll come out and explain that her account was hacked. Oh my god, Jiang Yun is actually such a person. I really couldn't tell, I'm dying of laughter. She and her husband only managed to sell more than 100 bottles of red wine while Sister E sold more than 1,000,000. The comparison is obviously infuriating." 20 minutes later, Jiang Yun bit the bullet and posted a public relations document that her team had come up with for her. Jiang Yun copy the following content. "I'm sorry, I didn't mean to use public relations resources. My phone was accidentally taken away by my assistant just now and she posted those inappropriate words. I've already fired my assistant. I'd like to apologize to everyone." She clapped her hands. As soon as the Weibo post was posted, the comments section became a sea of joy for netizens. "Ha ha ha, Jiang Yun is my source of joy today. Dear, I suggest you delete the first few words. Isn't this too perfunctory? Putting aside the fact that the script was written by someone else, is it that difficult to Xiangyi? I don't see any sincerity at all." Even though Jiang Yun reacted and deleted the first few words, it was too late. Within a day, she had embarrassed herself consecutively and her image in the eyes of the netizens instantly collapsed. On the other hand, Xiangyi received a red packet from Happy Snail fans. The other party claimed that it was money for Xiao Naofu. Nan got a great shock when he saw the amount. Brands would often send red packets to express their gratitude if they were satisfied with their endorsers. However, it was rare to see someone as generous as Happy Snail fans. However, it's understandable. Nan sighed. This brand is now completely established. The long-term influence of a brand was more important than short-term sales. Xiangyi transferred all the money to Xiao Naofu. Xiao Naofu was watching cartoons on his tablet. When he saw the news on the notification board, Xiao Naofu thought to himself, "In the future, can I rely on this family to earn money to support that stupid woman and little Shiji? As for that bastard Shi Sui, he was not worthy." At this moment, Xiang Feng's loud voice came from the living room door. "Xiao Naofu, little Shiji, I'm back. Did you guys miss me? Mimi, zuo, come give me a hug." Xiao Naofu glanced at him in disgust, covered its ears with its little paws, and began to pretend to be deaf. Little Shiji rushed toward Xiang Feng's feet and spun around twice in exchange for a canned meat. Xiang Feng thought that he could pet the dog, but as soon as he reached out, little Shiji picked up the canned food with its mouth and left. It then wagged its tail and handed the canned food to Xiao Naofu. Xiang Feng, they were quite affectionate with cats and dogs. "Little uncle, you're back." Xiangyi closed the book in her hand, blinked and asked, "Are you hungry? Is there anything you want to eat?" Xiang Feng touched his stomach and said, "I want to eat some garbage." Xiangyi made an "okay" gesture and said, "Arrange it." Xiang Feng followed her into the kitchen, and while helping her, he told her about his encounter a few minutes ago. "There was an old woman who showed her back and wanted to hitch a ride with me. The netizens who were watching the live stream immediately became interested. Isn't this the beginning of a domineering CEO novel? To their surprise, Xiang Feng's next sentence was, "TSK, that back was so white and shiny. It's a pity you didn't use cupping." Chapter 592. The netizens? Cupping? What kind of steely man is this? F***CK, I thought it was a domineering CEO novel, but it turns out to be an idiot novel? Everyone was complaining, thinking that Xiang Feng was beyond redemption. To their surprise, Xiangyi chimed in, "Acupuncture should be good too. It's easy to find acupoints." The netizens, huh? This. Is this the legendary saying, if you're not a family, you won't enter the same house? Sorry, my head is falling off from laughing. Please don't push, don't step on my head. A cupping and acupuncture. Awesome, you two must be the spokespeople for health care. Thumbs up. Qin Wanyan, who had seen this conversation, was so angry that she started coughing violently. She had been waiting near the Xiang family's manor for several days, all for the sake of bumping into Xiang Feng. With the help of the little system, she managed to avoid the surveillance cameras and security guards. Today, she even managed to talk to Xiang Feng. Xiang Feng had parked his car by the side of the road to smoke, afraid that the smoke would irritate his little niece. Qin Wanyan thought to herself, God is on my side. She lifted the hem of her dress and rushed forward. In order to seduce Xiang Feng, she wore a silver halter dress with a slit that reached her thighs and exposed her back, revealing a little bit of her body. "Sir, may I ask if I can hitch a ride with you?" After several encounters and frantic investigations, Qin Wanyan learned that Xiang Feng had face blindness and couldn't remember people's faces. So she didn't think it was a big deal that she had embarrassed herself before. After all, Xiang Feng couldn't recognize her at all. Unexpectedly, Xiang Feng had only said 2 sentences to her. The first sentence, "There's a taxi 10 kilometers ahead." "Sister, you're wearing so little. You'll get cold. Go do cupping and moxibustion when you have time." After saying that, he calmly put out the cigarette butt in the temporary ashtray made of coke and stepped on the accelerator, leaving Qin Wanyan with exhaust fumes. The more she thought about Xiang Feng's words, the more violently Qin Wanyan coughed. The little system, there are 6 days, 23 hours, 16 minutes, and 9 seconds left before the mission deadline. Qin Wanyan said grumpily, "Can't you tell I'm sick? I can at least take sick leave from work." The little system said, "Hello host, I suggest that you go to the hospital immediately for medical treatment. This mission does not have any function of asking for leave, so it has to be enforced." Qin Wanyan grabbed her hair in agony. "Then I won't do this mission. Go find someone else. I don't want to wear it. I want to remove the binding." If they didn't complete the mission, they would die. Who could bear that? She would rather not be the chosen one. The little system replied, "You can't, host. Who can complete this lousy mission? How could anyone do it?" Qin Wanyan was about to go crazy from the torture. Suddenly, she thought of a possibility. "No. I know someone. She's very powerful. I think she can do it. Xiangyi, you know Xiangyi, right? Let your main system choose her as the fast transmigrator. Let her replace me." The little system paused for a moment before saying, "Replace?" "Yes. Replace. Your main system definitely wants the mission to be completed, right? Otherwise, wouldn't it be a waste of resources?" The little system said, "There's no replacement option." Qin Wanyan was like a dying person grasping at straws. "You can add her if there's none. If I replace her, this perfect life mission can be completed. In that case, the person who was going to die could be Xiangyi, right?" Chapter 593. A summer thunderstorm suddenly descended. The little system fell silent, as if there was an error in its calculations. Outside the window, the heavy rain was pouring down, and the room was warm and beautiful. In the kitchen, Xiang Feng was in charge of doing stand-up comedy to liven up the atmosphere. Shui was washing the vegetables slowly. Xiang Feng was a clean freak and was very serious about washing the vegetables. His hands were beautiful too. Watching him wash the vegetables was simply a blessing to those who were obsessed with his hands. Xiangyi's hair was tied up into a bun, and she was looking down to make handmade powder. With her fair hands, she blended the sweet potatoes and peas according to the ratio. She then poured the powder out of a perforated aluminum ladle and put it into boiling water to solidify. The powder solidified into a vermicelli shape, and Xiangyi stirred it with her long chopsticks. When it was hot enough, she quickly scooped it out and put it into cold water to cool it down. The audience was dazzled. They only felt that in just a short while, Xiangyi had successfully made the handmade sweet potato powder with distinct texture. In the live stream, my brain can master it as soon as I learn it. My hands say that you don't deserve to smile. Sister E is so good at everything. She can even make handmade powder. I'm impressed. I love ready-made wet powder the most. I've eaten at a shop that has a long history and has insisted on handmade powder for so many years. It's really more soulful than dry powder made by machines. Just looking at the powder, Xiang Feng was already drooling. He felt that it was great that his little niece allowed him to stay with her for a few days with her dog. I'm taking advantage of little Shiji. Uncle, shall we eat hot and sour noodles? Xiangyi asked, cocking her head sideways. Xiang Feng nodded frantically. Yes, yes, yes. Okay. Xiangyi scooped a few spoonfuls of broth. She had been simmering the broth for a long time, using chicken, duck, pork bones, and other ingredients. Now, the broth had turned into a thick milky white color. I'll make you a super sour and spicy junk food later. Xiang Feng exclaimed, okay. The next second, he heard his little niece look at Shui and say softly, hot and sour noodles are not healthy. How about I make clear soup noodles with eggs and vegetables? Shui chuckled. Her gold-rimmed glasses were looped behind her ears, making her look classy and simple. As she washed the vegetables, ripples appeared in the air. Thank you, Sister E, Xiangyi, you're welcome. Xiang Feng? Fine, so Shui is healthy, but I'm only fit to eat garbage? Netizens. Why is it that the more I look at these two people, the more I feel that something is wrong? Ah, this is the sweetest CP in the world. It's producing grain every day. Ah. What's going on? Whenever Shuri and Sister E look at each other, I feel like pink bubbles are popping up on the screen. To be honest, the way Shuri looks at Xiangyi is too expressive. He's always cold and aloof to others, but when he sees Xiangyi, he smiles. It's obviously the reaction of someone he likes. Most of the Shui sisters and Spicy Tutu fans were stunned. A handsome man and a beautiful woman, and they were childhood sweethearts. Not to mention having a crush on each other, it was normal for them to have two lovers every 3 years. However, there were also a small number of Shui sisters who were particularly disgusted by CP fans, especially the untimely CP fans. They immediately started lecturing them on the bullet screen. A kind reminder, CP fans are crazy. Shui has peach blossom eyes, and he looks at everyone with deep affection, okay? Shuri is the nation's best actor, and Xiangyi can barely be considered an internet celebrity. Don't you feel awkward tying them together every day? They're of equal social status, okay? Not to be outdone, the CP fans returned the greetings. The two sides engaged in a friendly and well-practiced conversation until the moment the hot and sour noodles were ready to be served. The entire screen was flooded with foodies, fragrant. So fragrant. Chapter 594. It turned out that in front of the foodie fans, all the fans were like little brothers. The verbal battle was like a few raindrops, drowned in the torrent of delicious. Her little uncle had a big appetite, so Xiangyi scooped a big bowl for him. The yellowish-brown handmade sweet potato powder was slightly thick and crystal clear. The soup base was dyed red with chili, glossy and glossy. Paired with peeled peanuts, lettuce, and coriander, the color was bright. Xiang Feng didn't care about the heat, nor could he wait to eat at the table. He picked up a pair of chopsticks, stuffed it into his mouth, and started eating in the kitchen. In an instant, numbness, spiciness, sourness, freshness, fragrance, and other flavors burst on the taste buds. The impact was so strong that it seemed to reach the depths of one's soul. The texture of the powder was more chewy than the dry powder made by the machine. After a few mouthfuls of the powder and a mouthful of the super sour and spicy soup, the taste was doubled. Numb but not bitter, spicy but not dry, fresh but pure, sour but not painful, the taste lingered in the mouth and teeth, and the aftertaste was endless. Xiang Feng praised in a muffled voice, "Delicious, so delicious." Countless viewers in front of the screen were drooling. On the major takeout apps, orders for hot and sour noodles soared. Even the Shui sister and untimely CP, who had just been verbally attacking each other, strangely came to a truce. In the big world, food was the most important thing. She ordered takeout first. The second bowl of noodles was clear soup noodles for Shui. The milky white soup base was paired with sweet potato powder, a soft-boiled egg, and a few pieces of green vegetables. It looked light and simple. It's not sour or spicy. Xiangyi looked at Shui. You eat first. Shui, I'll wait for you. Xiangyi couldn't help but be distracted as she cooked her slightly sour and spicy noodles. She and Shui seemed like an old married couple. What would they be like after they got married? Probably similar to now. Treating each other with respect and restraining politeness. Sister E, the noodles are ready. The man's deep and mellow voice fell into her ears, and Xiangyi suddenly woke up. She was thinking about all kinds of nonsense. It was just a relationship, but she was already imagining their married life. She pretended to be calm and collected the powder, but the tips of her ears were dyed with a touch of crimson. Since they were all family, dinner was more casual. There were a few plates of pickled vegetables and noodles, as well as iced sour plum soup. After eating the canned food, Xiao Naofu and little Shiji huddled together and snored incessantly. The rain did not stop, but the lights were still bright. It was just a simple dinner, but it caused many people to sigh with emotion. This is life. I suddenly get a little insight. The fireworks of the human world is where the heart desires to be. Woo, I really like this daily routine of cooking and eating. Sister Yi's life may seem ordinary, but to me, it's like a utopian world. Of course, there was no lack of haters who came to nitpick. Xiangyi is getting lazier and lazier. She's not cooking a dish for 3 people. Eating too much kimchi can cause cancer. What's the use of her? I originally thought that it was acceptable for her to be a housewife and serve our Shui, but she actually made him wash the vegetables. There's a hierarchy between people. It's really no big deal to become popular through variety shows. This kind of popularity has no foundation and is no different from an internet celebrity. No matter how popular an internet celebrity is, can she be better than a celebrity? Just like social classes, there's a wall. Xiao Hai liked watching live streams and being a keyboard warrior. Tonight, as usual, he criticized Xiangyi and then scratched his feet in satisfaction. However, his mother knocked on the door. Son. Hurry and accompany me to the supermarket. The hand sanitizer endorsed by Xiangyi has arrived. Xiao Hai was dumbfounded. Chapter 595. What the hell? Little Hai was shocked and muttered to himself, how does my mom know about Xiangyi? Little Hai's mother was impatient and directly opened the door, shouting, hurry up. Mom just saw the advertisement on TV. I want all the fragrances of Oh Boy. If you're late, you won't be able to get it. Your Auntie Sue and Auntie Yang went to get it. Mom, you're talking about all the purchases, right? Little Hai took a long time to understand his mother's plastic English. He reluctantly put on his coat. It's just a hand sanitizer. What's there to fight for? Can this stuff be sold out? Anyway, when he passed by the daily necessities section of the supermarket, he never saw any shelves empty. However, when Little Hai accompanied his mother to the supermarket, he realized that he was really too young. The supermarket was packed with people. It was comparable to the flow of people during the Chinese New Year. Little Hai noticed that most of them were aunties. Other than his mother, there were also grannies. Everyone was fighting for the hand sanitizer. The supermarket even arranged for staff to hold loudspeakers to maintain order. Everyone, please line up to buy. The hand sanitizer is limited to 5 bottles per person. Hey, big sister, if you move back a little, you can't cut the line. A group of people were discussing, she's already so old and she's still cutting the line. Yeah, look at how anxious she is. I didn't see her so uncultured when she snatched eggs last time. Listening to the discussions coming from all directions, Little Hai was in a daze. He had seen mobile phones and luxury goods limited, but this was the first time he saw hand sanitizer limited. Next to him, Little Hai's mother stomped her feet. We're late. Xiangyi endorses 6 fragrances. If we buy 5, we won't be able to buy all of them. Little Hai was strong on the internet, but in reality, he was very timid, especially in front of his mother. He said frankly, Mom, we won't be able to finish 5 bottles in a short time. What do you know? Little Hai's mother rolled her eyes at him. A passionate auntie next to them said, Hey, do you want to share the order? My husband has already bought 5 bottles. He's only missing a vanilla one. You can buy 2 vanilla bottles later and I'll exchange them with you. I'll help you get 6 bottles. Little Hai's mother's eyes lit up. Okay. Xiaohai, that works too. He thought with melancholy that women were indeed creatures similar to dragons. They were greedy and had a hobby of collecting. Xiaohai's mother and the auntie hit it off right away. It was as if they were biological sisters from different mothers. They added each other on WeChat and chatted about their daily lives. After a while, they were even trying to find a partner for Xiaohai. Your son is so handsome. Marry Xiangyi as your wife. Auntie teased. Xiaohai's mother said sternly, How can he be worthy of Xiangyi? Little Hai? However, listening to the surrounding aunties and grannies happily discussing Xiangyi, Little Hai suddenly realized that not only was Xiangyi popular with young people, she also seemed to have a lot of mother fans and milk powder. For some reason, he felt a little ashamed. He felt that he was spouting nonsense when he said that Xiangyi was an internet celebrity. Little Hai took a short video and posted it to his circle of friends. Ocean, there are so many people accompanying my mom to buy hand soap. A bunch of scoundrels commented below, Oh, you've changed? Didn't you hate Xiangyi very much in the past? If it were me, I'd also accompany my mom and auntie to fight over hand soap. Sister E is really popular. Similar scenes were playing out all over the country. There was no need to buy trending searches at all. The netizens' spontaneous popularity had already pushed a topic to the top. Hashtag Nation Sister Xiangyi. Hashtag. Chapter 596. Although many brands were tempted by the online sales of snail powder, they decided to wait and see. This time, the offline sales of hand sanitizer made people realize how popular Xiangyi was. In the entertainment industry, popularity was a kind of metaphysics. Some celebrities just weren't likable. No matter how hard they tried, they just wouldn't be liked by everyone. However, some celebrities were different. Everyone in their family would like them. Even if they weren't fans, they would still get comments like, that kid is pretty good. In the past year, Xiangyi was the former. Now, Xiangyi was the latter. At the end of tonight's live stream, Li Jianyu announced a piece of news: there will be a lot of guests coming tomorrow. Let me give you a hint, it's a bunch of cute and handsome boys. Everyone in the live stream was guessing if C7's idols were coming. Now, C7 had a stage that they had never dared to dream of before. They had become the top male group in the country. The funny thing was that when they were interviewed, they kept talking about Xiangyi, as if they were her #1 fans. Xiangyi also thought of C7 and asked tentatively, Are Jiang Chen and the others coming? Li Jianyu, maybe anyway, Sister E, you're going to be a woodcutter again. He even winked mischievously at Shi Sui. How is it? I'm pretty good at wink, right? Shi Sui folded her arms and smiled. I thought your eyes were cramping. Li Jianyu? Alright, looks like Daddy sure has already entered a state of jealousy. What gentlemanly gentleman? It's all fake. It's all fake. The audience in the live stream began to jeer. Hey, it's him, our jealous Sure Sui. Wow, a bunch of boys, familiar formula, familiar taste. I'm looking forward to Xiang Yi's large-scale concubine selection tomorrow. What's wrong with the timing? I suggest you don't stick to the standard too much. Join me and you'll reap many times more happiness. While the audience was guessing the guests, the live stream ended. Xiang Feng carried Xiao Naofu and little Shiji upstairs to the renovated entertainment room to watch a movie. Xiang Yi, on the other hand, got up and prepared to go over tomorrow's menu. As soon as the girls stepped into the kitchen, she heard familiar footsteps behind her. She turned around and was met with a pair of deep, dark eyes. Creak, the kitchen door was closed. This was a space that Xiang Yi couldn't be more familiar with, but at this moment, she felt a little nervous. What's wrong? Do you have something to say to me? Xiang Yi asked. Sure Sui looked at her with a faint smile. Sister Yi, you're quite concerned about tomorrow's guests. Xiang Yi, you're a guest. That was what Xiang Yi's grandfather, Madame Xiang, had taught her since she was a child. Over time, she had become accustomed to it. Sure Sui pushed his glasses up with his fingers and noticed that Xiang Yi was staring straight at his Adam's apple. His thin lips curled slightly. He slowly unbuttoned the top button of his shirt and said nonchalantly, "It's a little hot." It does seem a little. Xiang Yi looked at him eagerly, but the more she looked forward to it, the slower Sure Sui unbuttoned it. After much difficulty, he finally unbuttoned one button, revealing his fair skin and the rise and fall of his Adam's apple. It was more tempting than if he had unbuttoned all of them. When Sure Sui's fingers landed on the second button, the girl in front of him looked even brighter. Sure Sui suddenly stopped in his tracks. Just as Xiang Yi was feeling regretful, she heard him say in a lazy voice, seemingly unintentionally, "My hand hurts. Sister Yi, can you help me unbutton it?" Chapter 597. Your hand hurts? Xiang Yi frowned and grabbed Sure Sui's wrist. Let me check your pulse. The next second, her milky white and slender wrist was grabbed with a backhand and firmly shackled. His warm thumb rubbed against her slightly protruding wrist bone, evoking a slight itch. In an instant, it was so quiet in the kitchen that she could hear the sound of the refrigerator running. Although Xiang Yi was slow, she was not completely clueless. Her ears were burning, but she still pretended to be serious. Are you lying to me? Yes. Sure Sui admitted it openly. His upturned eyes were deep and dark, and he smiled gently. Oh, no, Sister Yi found out. Although he said so, the man did not feel guilty or guilty at all. His other hand played with Xiang Yi's hair lazily and casually. He restrained himself, but Xiang Yi was embarrassed. The girl's cheeks blushed. Although you lied to me, but I can help you unbutton. Because I'm a good person. Sure Sui chuckled and leaned slightly. Then I'll have to trouble you. There was a height difference between the two, but now the distance between them was closer. Xiang Yi's fingertips curled slightly, not knowing if it was out of shyness or anticipation. Her soft fingers trembled as she unbuttoned the man in front of her. She tried for a long time, but still could not unbutton it. Sure Sui looked up. His dark eyes behind the glasses were deep and beautiful. It's too difficult, Xiang Yi said before he could speak. Sure Sui smiled. I thought Sister Yi wanted to take advantage of me. Xiang Yi. She did not. She stammered. I don't often think about it, oh? Realizing that she had said something wrong, Xiang Yi was embarrassed. But when she thought that Sure Sui was her boyfriend, she said confidently, I just think about it occasionally, and I haven't put it into practice. She regretted it after saying that. She thought that Sure Sui would be angry. Unexpectedly, Sure Sui was not only not angry, but also smiled happily. Why don't we put it into practice now? Huh. His slender fingers held the girl's hand and slowly unbuttoned the second button of his shirt. The man's clean and clear Adam's apple became clearer. His collarbone was also very good. His pale skin unexpectedly had a youthful look. But it was very sexy. Xiangyi unconsciously forgot to blink. Shui was not in a hurry to speak. Instead, he picked up the glass of water on the counter beside him and took a sip. As he drank, his Adam's apple moved up and down, which was particularly obvious. His unbuttoned white shirt revealed his usual gentle and abstinent temperament. Xiangyi felt that she could not hold it in anymore. Her hands were very itchy. She slowly moved to Shui's side. Boyfriend. Yes, girlfriend. Can I put it into practice more? The man's hand holding the glass tightened silently. After a while, he put down the glass and put his fingers on the back of the girl's neck. He gently rubbed it like a cat and asked calmly, "How do you want to do it?" Xiangyi was a little embarrassed. Just, she looked up. Her eyes were amazingly bright, as if a star had fallen. Shui made eye contact with her and waited quietly for her answer, although he was not as calm as he appeared to be. The girl raised a finger and spoke in a soft voice, as if she was acting coquettish. Can I touch it? Chapter 598. Outside the window, the sound of the rain gradually weakened. There was a gentle light in the room. It was like a slow-motion scene in a movie. The light and shadow were flickering frame by frame. Ambiguity mixed in the air, like ice cubes colliding into cola, sizzling with sweet bubbles. Shui's eyes darkened. Just for a moment. Xiangyi emphasized. Really, just for a moment. Her voice gradually lowered. Actually, I've always been curious. How does a guy's Adam's apple feel? Is it similar to tonsils inflammation? So it was just an Adam's apple. Shui leaned against the wall, looking relaxed and lazy. If it's someone else, not even for a moment. If it's Sister E, you can touch as much as you want. Swish, this sentence was so lethal that Xiangyi's ears turned red at a speed visible to the naked eye. However, the little girl had inherited the arrogance of the Xiang family. Even if she was extremely shy, she had to pretend that it didn't matter. She stretched out her index finger and carefully approached Shui. Then, she was extremely nervous and expectant. She poked it lightly and felt it carefully. Seeing her serious expression, Shui couldn't help but chuckle. His Adam's apple trembled slightly. The little girl withdrew her hand and blinked. So it's really different from tonsils inflammation. She sighed. Shui looked at her. Do you still want to continue? Xiangyi was shocked. Can we continue? Was there such a good thing in the world? Shui's eyes were full of love. He simply took her hand and pressed it to his Adam's apple. Our Sister E, you can do whatever you want to me. Xiangyi said excitedly, then I want to touch your collarbone. You can, but... He deliberately paused. But what? The little rabbit fell into the trap. I know that there are many important people in Sister Yi's heart. I'm so lucky to occupy a little space in Sister Yi's heart. I'm already very satisfied. It's just that I still don't feel safe. I always feel like I'm not good enough. A certain best actor was like a cup of top-notch Longjing tea before the rain, the fragrance of the tea overflowing. Unfortunately, Xiangyi really fell for it. She immediately became anxious. Don't say such things. I won't allow you to think like that. You're clearly very good. Very good. No one can say that you're not good. Not even you can do it. Shui was slightly stunned. She lowered her eyelids to hide the surging emotions in her eyes. Xiangyi put her hands on her hips. No matter what, you're not allowed to do that. Do you hear me? Okay, we'll listen to Sister E. Xiangyi recalled the world of female supremacy that she had almost transmigrated to. The female lead that she had assisted had nothing but pampered and coaxed her husbands. Xiangyi felt that she should coax her boyfriend more. Thus, the little girl said with a serious expression, "I admit that family is the most important thing in my heart. However, other than family, you are the most important. Although we haven't been together for a long time, the depth of a relationship is not defined by time." She paused and said shyly but firmly, "I like you. I like you very, very much. Don't worry, I'll definitely give you a sense of security in the future." Shi Sui's breathing became slightly heavy. How could she be so good? So gentle? The girl patted her slender shoulders. "If I'm sad in the future, I'll tell you. If you're sad, you can also come and lean on my shoulders." Boyfriends are meant to be pampered, spoiled, and protected. Chapter 599. Although Xiangyi was trying to coax him, she really meant what she said. The girl blushed even more. She waited for a few seconds, but Shi Sui did not respond. She blinked in confusion and asked, "You don't like to hear this?" Xiangyi was a little annoyed. "Then I won't say it again, I like it." He interrupted her firmly. Xiangyi was stunned. "I like it very much." Shi Sui coughed and looked away. A bold guess surfaced in Xiangyi's heart. "You're not shy, are you?" Shi Sui didn't answer and instead quietly changed the topic. The man's skill was too high. With just a few words, Xiangyi's attention returned to the menu. "I read the weather forecast. It's going to rain tomorrow and the temperature is low. If there are a lot of people, why don't we have hot pot?" Xiangyi looked through the kitchen utensils. Thanks to her uncle's love of hot pot, she had many pots here, such as a birthday pot, a mandarin duck pot, a nine-palace pot, and so on. Shi Sui said, "Just give him something to eat." "How can I do that? He's a younger brother. He's still young and growing. He has to eat well." Before she finished speaking, a pair of big hands grabbed her waist. The man's palm was hot and his forehead was pressed against hers. "Sister E, I'm jealous." "Huh? Do you like your younger brother?" "Sister." Cough. Xiangyi felt all the blood in her body rushing to her head, and she almost choked on her own saliva. Don't call me sister." Shi Sui saw her reaction and raised his eyebrows. "Seems like you really like him, sister." Xiangyi was speechless. "I'm done. I'm really done. Why is it that when others call me sister, I don't react at all, but when Shi Sui calls me sister, I feel like kissing him and pressing him against the wall. Okay, I'll stop teasing you." Shi Sui could not bear to push the girl too far. He patted Xiangyi's back and said, "Breathe out. Don't hold it in." Xiangyi, how did he know that he would hold his breath when he was nervous? Good night." Xiangyi pushed him away and slipped into the bedroom. Even though there were canned food and toys, Xiao Naofu and little Shiji quickly went downstairs to play, probably because Xiang Feng disliked dogs and cats. Seeing Xiangyi, Xiao Naofu chased after her. Little Shiji picked up Xiao Naofu's favorite salted fish toy and followed them. Only Shi Sui was left on the spot. It was cold and cheerless, just like the cat and dog dislike number 2. The next day. Early in the morning, a drizzle fell from the sky. Perhaps it was because of the rain, but Xiangyi was still sleeping soundly with Xiao Naofu in her arms even after morning exercise time. The little kitten was lying on her chest, snoring softly. On the ground, little Shiji was sleeping in Xiao Naofu's cat bed with a salted fish toy in his arms. As soon as the live stream started, everyone discovered that Xiangyi did not wake up early today. That was like poking a hornet's nest. The haters arrived one after another. It's already 8:00 and Xiangyi still hasn't woken up. Is she a pig? Wasn't Xiangyi quite diligent in the beginning? Now that she's become famous, she's starting to throw her weight around. The guests are coming soon. Isn't she going to get up to cook? Who would marry such a lazy woman? When the Spicy Tutu fans saw these comments, they were about to retort, but Shi Sui appeared on the screen. He was wearing a gray short-sleeved shirt and black trousers, looking especially youthful. He forgot to bring a towel and casually lifted the hem of his short-sleeved shirt to wipe his sweat, revealing his abs. In an instant, the live stream exploded. Chapter 600. Ah, Sure Sway, you must be Bodhisattva. Go higher, go higher. I don't lack this bit of traffic. Look at his waist, abs, and Apollo's belt. My Tianshi Sure Sway has such a good figure. The audience only saw Sure Sway's figure, but Li Jianyu saw more through the camera. Why do I feel that Daddy Sure is a little coquettish today? Li Jianyu turned to ask Ruan Qing, who was beside him. Ruan Qing was wearing a camel-colored coat and looked very elegant. She handed Li Jianyu a cup of hot coffee and said with a smile, maybe it's the childish desire of men to compare? What the hell? Why are we men so childish? How can we compare? Ruan Qing played with the card that was given to her by the takeout restaurant. There had been a small promotion at this coffee shop recently where customers would receive a card for ordering coffee. After opening the packaging, each card was different. Many people would order coffee in order to collect a set of cards, such as Li Jianyu and the photographer Old Zhang. She said calmly, I heard that Old Zhang has already collected 9 cards, one more than you. Li Jianyu said, what did you say? Damn it, how can I tolerate this? I can't. Come on, order me 2 more cups of coffee. I must surpass him and collect all the cards as soon as possible. Ruan Qing smiled without saying anything. Men. It turned out that although Li Jianyu was a fool, he had good taste. Sure Sway went to take a shower. When he appeared on camera again, he was obviously more exquisite than usual. The pure black satin shirt outlined his tall and slender figure, which was tucked into his trousers a little, making him look lazy and casual. His hair was no longer casually blown or air-dried like before. Instead, it was all tucked behind his forehead and fixed with wax, revealing his handsome and deep facial features. He had changed his glasses into a retro style with a golden chain behind his ears. The light in the room mixed with a gentle glaze on his chiseled face. Originally, he was already attractive enough in casual and home clothes. Today, he had dressed up so meticulously that the comments section of the live stream was full of screams. Ascetic Sure Sway is done, his looks are so good this early in the morning. I can't take it anymore, I want to slide on the bridge of my brother's nose. I want to swing on my brother's eyelashes. I want to swim in my brother's collarbone. I want to play hide and seek in his abs. He looked in the direction of Xiangyi's room and frowned. The little girl had a very regular schedule and rarely slept in. At this time, she should have woken up. Was he sick? Sure Sway was a little worried, so she gently asked the female staff to check the bedroom. As soon as the staff left, there was a commotion outside the door. Sister E, are you home? Sister E. Sister E, we're here. Sister E, I brought you a present. They were noisy, but young and lively. Sure Sway opened the door and was greeted with the sight of 7 or 8 teenagers dressed in black uniforms. There was a double-headed arrow symbol on the left side of their chests, which seemed to be a symbol of logic. When they saw Sure Sway, the teenagers instantly fell silent. They were like primary school students who saw their teacher. They stood at attention unconsciously, and some of them hurriedly adjusted their curled hair. Standing on the far left was Xiangyi's 4th brother, Xiangyu. The teenager was wearing a cap and looked tired. Good morning, this is Sure Sway, Big Brother Sure. Big Brother Sure, these are my teammates on the team. The audience exclaimed, it's a large-scale concubine selection. She may be late, but she won't be absent. Chapter 601. There were a total of 4 official players and 4 substitutes in Team Logic. When they heard that they could come to Xiangyi's house today, they all scrambled to come. They were even more enthusiastic about the competition. Xiangyu asked, where's my sister? Sure Sway answered, she's still sleeping. Xiangyu was dumbfounded. The expression in his eyes changed instantly and he stared at Sure Sway as if he was looking at a beast. Sure Sway raised her eyebrows and couldn't be bothered to explain. She made way for the children to enter. At present, the oldest person in the team was the captain, Wander, who was 22 years old, followed by Xiangyu, who was 21 years old. Most of the other players were between 16 and 20 years old. The esports industry was very realistic and cruel. The professional careers of the players were usually not too long. The usually arrogant and unruly Tianxiu in the game were all extremely obedient at this moment. They didn't even dare to eat the fruits that Shi Sui handed them. Xiangyu vaguely heard two people whispering to each other. Would Shi Sui poison the fruits? I don't think so. Xiangyu heaved a sigh of relief, only to hear the latter half of the sentence hesitantly and cautiously. He wouldn't poison them with a strong poison, would he? It could be said that they were very humble. At this moment, the female staff member from before hurried out of Xiangyi's room and said anxiously, "Why isn't Sister Yi waking up? Could she have fainted?" Shi Sui's expression changed slightly. At this moment, he couldn't care less about the differences between men and women and gentlemanly etiquette. He strode into Xiangyi's room. Xiangyu also rushed in. In the bedroom. By the bed, little Shiji raised its front paws and barked while leaning against the edge of the bed. Seeing Shi Sui enter, it rubbed its head against Shi Sui's trousers and whimpered twice. Shi Sui stroked the back of the little Shiba Inu's neck and looked at Xiangyi. The girl was covered with a thin blanket and sleeping soundly. Her breathing was light and even, and she didn't seem to be abnormal at all. Sister, sister. Xiangyu panicked and recalled that his sister seemed to have changed into a different person after waking up from a nap a year ago. He immediately broke out in cold sweat. However, she was like a sleeping beauty in a fairy tale. No matter how much Xiangyu shouted or shook her, she didn't react at all. Shi Sui took a deep breath and forced herself to calm down. His eyes locked onto Xiao Naofu in the girl's arms. The little cat also fell into a deep sleep. Its furry tail hooked onto Xiangyi's wrist. The human and the cat seemed to have been cursed. In the living room. The cameraman didn't go in. He only took pictures of the reactions of the members of Team Logic in the living room. She could tell that her younger brothers were really worried about Xiangyi. However, there were some haters who didn't care about the time and place and continued to spew nonsense. Who knows if she's faking it or not? Why did she have to faint now of all times? Wasn't she fine yesterday? She fainted just like that today. What a joke. Isn't she trying to seduce Shirindi into her bedroom on purpose? If a woman used this trick, she would definitely be called a white lotus. The spicy Tutu girls were so angry that they retorted on the spot. Are you blind? Sister E works so hard every day. Can't you see? Watch your words. Who hasn't felt uncomfortable at times? Celebrities are humans too, okay? Shirindi's legs are on his body. Did he walk in on his own or did someone put a knife to his neck and make him go in? There were also some fans of the untimely CP who were secretly excited. Candy. It's Candy. At the same time, Xiangyi saw a familiar interface in her daze. Hello, I'm system number 1018. I'm at your service. Chapter 602. A question mark slowly appeared on top of Xiangyi's head. This was very fascinating. She looked down and saw her almost transparent hands. It was dark all around, with the occasional flickering of silver light, as if they were floating in the vast universe. Beside her, Xiao Naofu was also fascinated. The little cat flapped its little paws in the air, squatted on Xiangyi's shoulder, and roared at the system, meow 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 meow. Our stupid woman is almost through, idiot. Number 1018 was equipped with a cat language translator, and was stunned after hearing this. Almost through? Wait a moment, I need to send back to the main system's database to check. There was silence all around. Number 1018 left. Xiangyi hugged Xiao Naofu and pinched its little face. Don't be angry, little baby. If you get angry again, you won't be the world's most handsome big tiger anymore. Xiao Naofu's fur exploded in anger. Meow meow. How could there be such a thing? Xiangyi had already completed all the fast transmigration missions. How could they rebind her to the system? Although Xiao Naofu was ignorant, it also knew that fast transmigration was actually a very difficult thing. Life and death, mutual deception, and all the people and things that one cared about would eventually become memory fragments. It made one doubt whether one really existed. Xiangyi, don't be afraid, maybe there's just a bug somewhere. At the mention of bugs, Xiao Naofu suddenly realized that the world Xiangyi was in seemed to be getting more and more abnormal. Logically speaking, there shouldn't be any fast transmigrators in this plane, but there were Ling Yi, Qin Wanyan, and Shi Sui, who had a very strange aura. What was going on? It meowed softly and rubbed against Xiangyi's arms, feeling a little uneasy. After waiting for a few minutes, number 1018's voice sounded, "I'm back, host. After checking, there are no records of your fast transmigration." Xiao Naofu, meow meow meow. How could there be no records? It had clearly been with Xiangyi the whole time. Xiangyi remained calm. Are you sure? Yes. Xiangyi nodded. Okay, I got it. Number 1018 was a little surprised. Although it was only an intern system, it had heard its seniors talk about the reactions of the hosts when they learned that they were about to start transmigrating. Some people were wild with joy, some were incomparably resistant, and some broke down and cursed. But it seemed that no one was as calm as Xiangyi. However, number 1018 also brought good news. However, I also found out the identity of this stupid cat. It is indeed the reincarnation of the system. Number 1018 had human-like thoughts and emotions. It could not understand how such a childish system could exist. Was it spoiled by the host? He was so envious. Xiao Naofu. Meow meow meow. Who are you calling stupid? Also, this Huhu is not a cat. No. Show some respect. Number 1018 said bluntly, but according to my scan, you are a cat. Xiangyi covered Xiao Naofu's ears. I'm not listening, I'm not listening. Tortoise chanting. Number 1018, Xiao Naofu whined in a childish voice and pouted, obviously throwing a tantrum. Suddenly, number 1018 said, Host, I have received instructions from the main system. Due to a bug, you can temporarily not transmigrate, but you need to complete the beginner's mission. Ding, please complete the mission for this dimension's male lead, Shi Sui. Requirement, marriage. After completion, you will receive a generous reward. Xiangyi? What? When did your system have a marriage-urging function? I've been chosen as the lucky goose. I have to get up at 5:30 tomorrow morning to raise the national flag. Nuanyuan should go to bed first. Try to update early tomorrow _ smiley face angle _ good night. Chapter 603. She was silent for a few seconds and caught the main point. She narrowed her beautiful doe eyes and asked, the male lead of this dimension? Host, in fact, your world is a bubble world derived from a book. As the male lead, Shi Sui has the strongest luck and male lead halo. In layman's terms, he has countless golden fingers. Do you need me to download the content for you? Download. Soon, a book titled Best Actor in the Entertainment Industry appeared in front of Xiangyi. This was a standard novel for men. The male lead, Shi Sui, leveled up, honed his acting skills, and finally became the best actor in the entertainment industry. Xiangyi flipped through the book. Because Shi Sui in the book was misogynistic, he didn't have any emotional scenes from beginning to end. As for her name, it only briefly appeared in the book, Xiang Yu's little niece, a childhood friend, and the little girl next door. Other than that, there was nothing else. Xiangyi was in a trance for a moment. So, her world was just a book. Everything that could be called fate was just an understatement by someone else? Was it Zhuangzhou dreaming of a butterfly, or was it a butterfly dreaming of Zhuangzhou? Was everything real? Or was it just a dream? But it was only for a moment. Xiangyi calmed down. So what if it was a world in the book? To her, the world was real, her family was real, and Shui was also real. There was no doubt. There was no need to doubt. I understand. Xiangyi nodded. Can we go back now? Number 1018 was a little surprised, but he didn't show it. She was actually so determined. He was afraid that the main system wouldn't be able to fool her with the male lead halo of the book world. The official said politely, "Yes, please wait for a moment." The private doctor arrived in time to check on Xiangyi. Maybe she's too tired, or maybe it's because of psychological reasons. Judging from her vital signs, she couldn't find anything unusual. Seeing that everyone was so nervous, she suggested, "Why don't we send Miss Xiang to the hospital for a full-body checkup?" As soon as she said that, the girl on the bed, her thick eyelashes fluttered and she slowly opened her eyes. "Sister." Xiang Yu half knelt in front of the bed and grabbed her hand. Xiangyi coughed twice, her voice a little hoarse. "Brother." The word brother made Xiang Yu's heart fall to the ground. Xiangyi's gaze passed him and fell on Shui behind him. The gray satin shirt looked both classy and exquisite. His originally meticulously combed hair was now slightly messy, falling over his deep brow bones. Little Shiji pressed his head against his leg, his eyes full of tears. The man and the dog looked extremely pitiful. Xiangyi suddenly felt a lump in her throat. "I'm fine," she said. "It's good that you're okay, it's good that you're okay." Xiang Yu was extremely relieved. Xiao Naofu also slowly woke up, cupping Xiangyi's chest and acting coquettishly. Shui picked up the stupid cat. Xiao Naofu flailed its claws in the air in protest. The man asked gently, "Sister E, are you hungry? What do you want to eat? Preserved egg and lean meat porridge with youtiao?" "Shui. Then I'll order takeout for you." In the next second, the system prompt sounded in her mind, "Ding. Please ask Shui to make breakfast for you. You'll receive 100 points after completion." Xiangyi closed the mission bar expressionlessly. Our boyfriend is meant to be pampered, not to be cooked. Number 1018? Why does this host seem a little rebellious? Chapter 604. But host, this is your mission, please answer a question for me first. Is the result or the process the most important thing in a mission? The result. Then, no matter what method I use, is it logically feasible to get the same result? Yes. Okay, you can shut up now. Number 1018? Why is the host so cold? Ha ha ha, Xiao Naofu sneered mercilessly. Humph, little trash. Our stupid woman doesn't need a noob system like you. Xiangyi didn't hesitate to order number 1018 around. She directly connected Xiao Naofu to the channel and shared the cat language translator function with it. Number 1018, this hateful stupid cat, how dare it mock me? In the kitchen. Xiangyi changed into a thin apricot-colored sweater with a white half-skirt, looking gentle and soft. She poured porridge that had been simmering for a few hours with a timer function into several casseroles, then added century eggs, lean meat, shiitake mushrooms, shredded ginger, and other ingredients before slowly stirring them with a wooden spoon. When the dough was almost fermented, Xiangyi added some salt and pepper, kneaded it, and then cut it into medium-sized batches. She stacked them in groups of 2, dipped her chopsticks in water, and gently pressed them on top of each other. She then placed the batches into a pot of hot oil and fried them. After a while, they gradually turned into fluffy, fragrant, and crispy fried dough sticks. The fragrance wafted out through the crack in the door. After a while, Wander couldn't help but squat at the door, followed by Xiao Yang, Shui, and Song Song. After frying a pot, Xiangyi fished it out, dripped some oil, and opened the door, ready to call the children to try the freshly cooked fried dough sticks. However, she found a group of children squatting at the door like they were growing radishes. The girl was obviously stunned for 2 seconds. This scene made the viewers in the live stream laugh. Sister E is dumbfounded. JPG, shocking. The 8 players of Team Logic actually did such a thing. Ha ha ha, the little boys squatting in a row waiting for food are so cute. I want to pinch their cheeks one by one. Xiangyi paused for a moment and said, the fried dough sticks are the best when they're fresh out of the pot. Do you guys want to try it first? Alright, alright. Xiangyi originally thought that the big pot would be enough to taste, but she didn't expect that this group of children would be like reincarnated hungry wolves, gobbling it up like a whirlwind. He was indeed a half-grown kid who ate until his father was poor. After the children finished eating, they all looked at Xiangyi innocently. Sister Yi, did we eat too much? As the captain, Wander was quite embarrassed. Their team members were all night owls. They usually didn't eat breakfast. However, the deep-fried dough sticks that Xiangyi fried were simply too delicious. Not only were they fragrant and soft, but they also had a faint milky fragrance. The freshly cooked deep-fried dough sticks were also not overly greasy. It tasted completely different from takeout. It doesn't matter. I'll fry another pot, and the porridge will be almost ready. Later, I'll eat it with porridge and side dishes. It's not good to eat only fried things, Xiangyi said softly and lowered her head to continue frying the deep-fried dough sticks. Without needing her instructions, the children automatically cleared the table and took the bowls and chopsticks. They even fought to scoop up the kimchi and scoop up the eggs. Seeing this, the coaches at the base twitched their mouths. The little brats who usually wouldn't even pick up the oil kettle at the base were now so diligent at going to Xiangyi's house. Xiangyi moved quickly. In the blink of an eye, she had fried 2 pots of deep-fried dough sticks. She shouted softly, "It's time to eat, go wash your hands." In an instant, the esports players of Team Logic all obediently lined up in front of the sink. Yes, yes, we'll listen to Sister E. Chapter 605. Xiangyi said, use hand sanitizer to wash them properly. The children were very obedient and returned to the dining table smelling good. On the wooden dining table, there were a few exquisite side dishes and 2 freshly fried vegetables. The youtiao was cut into small pieces and neatly stacked together. The eggs were chilled with water, and the temperature was just right for shelling. In addition, there was a bowl of piping hot congee with pork and century egg in front of everyone. Gulp. The sound of saliva swallowing was very clear. Usually, the members of Team Logic wouldn't be awake at this time. They thought that they would be very tired from today's recording, but they were very energetic. There was only one thought in their minds, gluttony. Xiangyi urged, why are you all in a daze? Eat, eat. The children began to eat. The youtiao was crispy and delicious. The outside was crispy, and the inside was like a sponge cake with gaps. The milky fragrance was mixed with a slight taste of pepper. Sweetness, saltiness, and spiciness overlapped to create a rich texture. Whether it was eaten directly or mixed with congee, it was full of happiness. The congee with pork and century egg was even better. The rice had basically melted, and it was soft and sticky in the mouth. The pork was steamed and fried, and it was very chewy. The century egg was smooth and appetizing, and the shiitake mushroom was soft and fragrant. Together, it was as if an electric current had burst at the tip of the tongue, directly attacking the taste buds and the brain. Ah, it's so delicious. Woo-woo, this is the best congee I've ever eaten in my life. This kimchi is delicious too. It's sour and spicy, it's so strong. Sister E, you're amazing. Yes, 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 Sister E is awesome. Sister E is awesome. The children were all praising her. Xiangyi smiled gently. Eat more if you like it. As for the kimchi, I can pack it for you when we leave. Everyone cheered. Thank you, Sister E. Wander said seriously, stop calling me Sister E, call me sister. In an instant, the children all changed to calling her sister. Xiangyi ate the congee quietly, but the little girl under the table couldn't help but shake twice. In fact, she had always wanted to be an elder sister since she was young. Unfortunately, she was the youngest in the family and had never had the chance to realize it. Who would have thought that his wish would come true today? Sure Sui, who was sitting on her left, leaned over and whispered, "Are you happy, sister?" Xiangyi's hand trembled, and the spoon clanked against the porcelain bowl. How should I put it? The number of times that Shui called her big sister could not compare to the number of times that her legs turned to jelly. Cough. The young girl pretended to be serious. Do you want to eat eggs? I'll peel one for you. Shui said, I'll do it. Xiangyi was the first to grab the bowl of eggs. Her milky white face was serious. No, men's hands are not used to do this kind of rough work. Shui raised her eyebrows and smiled noncommittally. Then, thank you, Sister E. I'm so lucky to have met such a good Sister E. Xiangyu, who was closest to her. Brother Shi was getting more and more shameless. Was this still the man he admired and respected as a child? Why was he constantly emitting the fragrance of tea now? Logic's little brothers also heard it. Xiaoyang was outspoken and asked straightforwardly, Shuringdi, aren't you afraid that the netizens will scold you for living off a woman? Shui slowly scooped a spoonful of congee and drank it calmly and confidently. The doctor said that I have a weak stomach and it's not good for me to live off a woman. Everyone? What? So you're proud of living off a woman? Chapter 606. The fans of the couple were screaming in the live stream. Ah. That's a confession. I don't care, it's a confession. See that? This is the majesty of the Empress. As long as our Empress is alive, all of you are concubines. Oh my God, who still remembers how proud Shui used to be? In front of Sister E, he has no integrity at all. The Shui sisters had mixed feelings, but thinking about it carefully, Xiangyi seemed to be quite outstanding. She was good-looking, rich, gentle, and all-round. In all honesty, one might be able to find an artist who was more popular than Xiangyi in the entertainment industry, but definitely not one who was more suitable for Shui. Because Shui liked her. At the thought of this, many of the Shui sisters felt relieved. The meaning of chasing after a star was to chase after a ray of light. Now, this star was also going to chase after his light. After breakfast, the boys rushed to wash the dishes, as if they were children in kindergarten who were trying their best to show off in front of the teacher in order to get a little red flower. The coaches at the base lit their cigarettes and were speechless. Indeed, there was always someone to beat. Finally, there was someone who could tame this group of lawless brats. After breakfast, Xiangyi fed the boys a lot of snacks before letting them get to work. Considering the special nature of the esports profession, the production team arranged for some relatively easy and interesting tasks to avoid hurting their hands. For example, they had to go to Little Rabbit Farm to control the robots to move goods, or go to the glass greenhouse to collect petals to make aromatherapy. To the boys of Team Logic, these tasks were not so much tasks as they were relaxing. The boys were having so much fun that they even went to catch chickens, saying that they wanted Xiangyi to make chicken soup for lunch. In the end, they accidentally provoked a flock of geese, and all of them were chased around. The boys screamed, and the live stream became a sea of laughter. As we all know, one goose is equal to the combat power of 2 adults, ha 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 ha, who asked you to be naughty? Now you've been taught a lesson by the big geese. Mages, pay attention to your positioning. Can you be a jungler? Pay attention to your coordination. Archers, don't you want to deal damage? Dog head, under the ridicule of the netizens, Wander showed the courage of the number 1 commander in the alliance. He calmed himself down and commanded his teammates to launch a counterattack. Little Yang, attack from the left. Ah Shui, why are you running? Your shoes are about to fall off. Come and catch him. Everyone, take a roundabout route and outflank them. Pay attention to your positioning. Don't King nag me, get lost. The few big geese seemed to have turned into spirits. They caught Wander and beat him up. Wander was so merciless that he covered his head and ran away like a rat. His teammates beside him could not stop laughing. Not far away, Xiangyu was wearing a black cap and had one hand in his pocket. He looked extremely aloof. Xiangyu was holding a basket with all kinds of flowers she had just cut. The girl smiled. Brother, aren't you going to play with me? Xiangyu's body tensed up. Boring, childish, something only little kids would play with. My brother always says that I'm a kid. Xiangyi blinked. But I think my brother is also a kid. As soon as her soft voice fell, the girl gently pushed Xiangyu, pushing him towards his brothers. Then, the esports guru, who had said that it was boring, suddenly became more interested in catching geese than anyone else. Xiangyi looked at her brother, and a small dimple appeared on her cheek. Chapter 607. That was all there was to it. If the system didn't spoil the fun. Number 1018, host, your mission has not been completed, Xiangyi, refresh the next mission. Number 1018 tried to resist. Missions have to be done in order. Xiangyi, turn on the shielding function. Sob, sob, sob. That's too cold. Okay, I'll refresh the next mission for you. Ding, please let Shui spend money for you. There's no limit to the amount. The system was obviously going easy on her for this mission. Number 1018 thought that Xiangyi would at least agree to do such a simple mission, right? Unexpectedly, continue to change. Number 1018? It couldn't figure it out. Why? I'm the one who should spend money for my boyfriend. Please let Shui praise you once. It could be said that the system was going easy on her. Xiangyi, my boyfriend is so outstanding, should praise him more. Number 1018, forget it, I'll do as I see fit. You can block yourself now. Meow, 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 Xiao Naofu laughed smugly in the three-person channel. Number 1018 died. The system had human-like emotions. Number 1018 fell into a depressed mood. Xiangyi, on the other hand, was deep in thought. She wasn't provoking the system, but testing it. She was testing the bottom line of number 1018. This number 1018 was obviously very tolerant. She could even refuse to do the mission. Xiangyi felt that to a certain extent, the system was indulging her. This feeling didn't feel right. The main system had its own set of algorithms. It would maintain fairness to a certain extent, and the subsystem also had a certain degree of freedom. But it wouldn't be biased to this extent. Xiangyi felt that this behavior was very much like compensation. She had almost transmigrated, but there was no record of this matter. The main system was probably hiding something. The only thing Xiangyi could do now was to deal with all changes by sticking to the status quo and slowly coax information out of number 1018. No matter what, this time, she would never let her family get hurt again. The group of younger brothers played until they were covered in sweat. In the end, they really did catch 2 geese. The younger brothers regretted it after they caught it. They thought that Xiangyi was so cute that she would definitely be scared of killing a goose. The lamb said, "The goose is so cute." "Why don't we let it go?" Xiangyi said, "The goose is so cute. Why don't we make roast goose?" Xiaoyang. Netizens. Pfft, I'm going to laugh myself to death in the stream sooner or later. I'm laughing so hard, I feel like my mom is about to beat me up with a feather duster. Sister E, broaden your horizons. In addition to roast goose, you can also make beer goose, marinated goose, braised goose, and stewed goose in an iron pot. Thinking of the wonderful taste of the goose stewed in the iron pot last time, Li Jianyu offered to help kill the goose. The viewers in the live stream burst into laughter again. They had seen variety show directors ordering their artists around, but they had never seen a variety show director snatching their artist's work. While waiting for the goose to be dealt with, Logic's brothers discussed what to play. Why don't we play games with Big Sister? Xiangyi was quite interested. Okay. All of a sudden, the younger brothers expressed their opinions. Don't worry, Big Sister, I'll definitely lead the way. Big Sister, I'm here. Just follow behind me when the time comes. Big Sister, don't be afraid, we're all super awesome. Everyone was talking at once, but the question of what game to play became a problem. Xiangyi rummaged through a box of game controllers. How about this? In an instant, the younger brothers were all dumbfounded. Limited edition. They're all limited edition. Chapter 608. As a group of internet addicts, their biggest hobby was to collect all kinds of keyboards, mice, headphones, and game consoles. Even if ordinary game consoles were expensive, they could still buy them. But the box that Xiangyu was carrying was mostly a series that couldn't be bought even if one had the money. By the way, there's also these. Xiangyu flipped through the other boxes, which contained various game cards. There was a period of time when she liked to play video games. Her fourth brother, Xiangyu, gave her a few. Later, her brothers and little uncle each gave her a few more. Needless to say, there were so many game cards. There were so many game cards that they were dazzling, causing the younger brothers to start swallowing their saliva. Holy shit, a first-generation magic treasure? Big sister, are we really able to play? The group of youths looked at Xiangyu anxiously. They were simply weak, helpless, and pitiful. Xiangyu, of course. She generously pushed the box over and let them divide it among themselves. The younger brothers suppressed their excitement and carefully touched their game controllers. Roar. The reaction of the younger brothers made the audience in the live streaming room laugh. Ha ha ha, my little brothers are so cute. I'm a collector, and I'm satisfied with this book. Sister E, I'm just an ordinary rich woman. I took a screenshot and searched for these game controllers. The total price is almost enough for the down payment of a house in a second-tier city. After some careful selection, each of the younger brothers chose a game controller. The game he chose was a classic domestic gunfight game, Lost City. At first, Li Jianyu was worried that it would not be easy to shoot, but he did not expect Xiangyu to take him to the third floor. The entire third floor was opened up. The space was shockingly large, and the lighting was good. It was divided into different areas according to its function, such as the fitness area, the movie viewing area, and the gaming area. There were several large screens for the convenience of the game. He could imagine Xiangyu having fun with her family. It was a warm and beautiful scene. Li Jianyu. Was it too late to hug Sister Yi's thigh now? The viewers in the live stream were shocked again. Was this the daily life of Ms. Perfect? Don't mention Shurindi, they also want to eat Sister Yi's soft rice. Wander plugged in the game card and connected several controllers to the screen. He tilted his head and asked Xiangyu, Sister E, there are 4 professions in Maze Town. Sniper, Special Forces, Wizard, and Medic. It's almost equal to ranged, melee, sorcerer, and healer. Which one do you want to play? Xiangyu thought for a moment. A nanny. She often played support characters, so she should be able to play them well. In any case, he had always been criticized by Big Brother for his decision-making, Second Brother for his tactics, Third Brother for his hand speed, and Fourth Brother for his operation. As for Little Uncle, he was so weak that he didn't deserve to be despised. Upon hearing Xiangyu's choice, the esports fans who had rushed over after hearing the news began to curse. Girls are only fit to play support in the first place. Toxic, we only want to watch professional players play games, and a female celebrity play, okay? She fought Old Wang and the others. Was she worthy? Does this woman know what the front, back, left and right attack jump buttons are? In reality, Xiangyu knew his sister's level and did not join in the fun. Instead, he let a substitute player go up. His behavior was inevitably criticized by others. As the exciting music sounded, the game began. Chapter 609. The map of the game was an abandoned city, a bit like the scene after the apocalypse. The gray-toned image was depressing and dark. 4 figures respawned at the resurrection point. Although the game was a single-player game, the mode was hell-level difficulty. As soon as the 4 stepped out of the resurrection point, they were attacked by monsters. In the early stages of the game, characters didn't have much money to buy equipment and were very fragile, especially the 3 damage output characters. Wander and the others had bought attack equipment according to their habits. This wave of fast and fierce attacks caught the 3 of them a little off guard. Normally, they would never panic because they had absolute confidence in the strength of their support teammates. But now, the support in the team was Sister E. Although they would find her cute no matter how badly she fought, they would feel embarrassed if they couldn't bring her back to the resurrection point in the early stages of the game. The three of them had a lot of drama going on in their minds. Their hands moved swiftly as they killed the monsters, but in their minds, they kept adding scenes to themselves. The monsters approached from afar and soon, they encountered them head-on. Seeing that the team was about to be wiped out, a protective shield was cast on the melee player just in time. The three of them stood in a formation of special forces with the melee player in front and the damage output characters behind. They used the surrounding buildings to block the monsters. The shield offset most of the damage. The moment the shield was broken, the monster's bite landed. But at the same time, whoosh whoosh whoosh, 3 rays of healing light fell on the melee player's head. Every time the healing light flashed, the critical health bar would be restored to full. This repeated 3 times, buying precious time for the damage output to clear most of the monsters. Instant healing? Sister E knew how to do this. Instant healing was a skill that required a lot of skill from the healer in the game. It required the healer to accurately insert healing between a series of damage. If the healer was a second too early, the healer would still have full health and the skill would be wasted. If the healer was a second too late, the healer would have been killed by the enemy and there would be no time to save them. Therefore, the healer needed to be familiar with the cooldown time of the skill and be aware of the rhythm of the healing. As for hand speed, it was needless to say. If one's hand was fast or slow, the effect would not be the best. But Sister E did it. Most of the viewers in the live stream didn't understand the game, but they vaguely felt that Xiangyi seemed to be quite powerful. Wow, Sister E is so good at healing, why do I feel like she knows how to have fun? Xiangyi's luck is so good. She always manages to heal when her HP is low. Some esports fans were unwilling to accept this reality. In their eyes, wasn't this normal? What's the big deal? I can do it with my feet too. Healer only has a few skills, just press the buttons one by one. Isn't this a very common operation? Isn't it because she's a woman that you're praising her? The game continued. The adventurer team explored the depths of the city, triggering random quests and various battles along the way. Aside from monsters, there were also rebel forces hidden in every corner of the city that would launch sneak attacks on the adventurer team. The soul-stirring battle made everyone break out in a cold sweat. Wasn't this too difficult? If it were an ordinary person, they would have died countless times already. However, other than Xiangyi, who was playing as a healer, everyone else in the party was at full health. Bang! Gunshots rang out and the team was forced to split up. Xiangyi's nanny was trapped in an alley. Chapter 610. The situation became tense all of a sudden. The long-range and melee mages could still rely on their positioning and brute force to resist, but the healer was trapped in the alley alone and was almost doomed. The stream was filled with mockery and ridicule. The camera gave Xiangyi a close-up. The girl's face was fair and delicate without a single flaw. Her expression was indifferent and calm, as if she wasn't bothered by this desperate situation at all. In the game, the weak healer was facing 3 enemies. The only lucky thing was that the 3 enemies were special forces and could only use pistols and daggers. Bang bang, several gunshots rang out, but none of them hit. Perhaps people couldn't dodge bullets in real life, but a game was a game after all. Xiangyi relied on her positioning and managed to dodge the enemy's attack in such a narrow space. Someone exclaimed in the live comments, "This is godly positioning?" Godly positioning was the famous positioning of Smog, Encounter. It was changeable and unpredictable, and had given countless opponents headaches. Later, many players in the league tried to imitate it, but most of them could only imitate the surface but not the essence. That was because this positioning required not only hand speed but also brain speed. In other words, not only must one's hands be fast, one must also have a good brain. However, Xiangyi actually managed to do it. There was a small uproar in the stream. Sister E is quite something. F***ck, it's such a pity that she didn't go into esports with her talent. My whole family was shocked. I spent a few months in the youth training camp and almost vomited when I practiced this positioning. I didn't expect someone to be able to do it so easily. As for the esports fans who were criticizing her just now, they were also speechless at this moment. Wait, why are you still hiding it so well? Godly positioning, it turns out that a girl can use it so casually. What happened next made these people even more dumbfounded. After the enemies ran out of bullets, they pulled out their daggers and approached the healer from several different angles. Xiangyi pressed the controller and switched to the only weapon the healer could carry, a dagger. The killing power of a dagger was the lowest in Mei's castle. To give a simple example, a short sword could kill a person with 5 slashes, but a dagger could take 10 slashes or even more. Therefore, in this game, it was very difficult for healers to kill people, so they could only focus on assisting. However, Xiangyi, on the other hand, showed what a close combat healer was. The girl was calm and steady. She controlled the healer in the game to move forward and backward. She flipped and moved, and every attack accurately hit the enemy. The smooth operation was like a feast of art. The aesthetics of violence was vividly and perfectly interpreted at this moment. Schwa. One person fell to the ground. It was now 1 versus 2. Swish swish. The second enemy was also heavily injured and could no longer fight. At this time, the healer's HP was almost empty. Just when everyone thought that there was no hope, Xiangyi calmly cast a few healing skills on herself. The green holy light of healing flickered. Through the screen, the audience could feel the despair of the AI in the game. Why the F***ck is there still blood? Xiangyi, who was full of HP, leisurely killed the third enemy. She neatly put away her dagger